Once upon a time, there was a spunky orange-clad ninja who burst onto the scene and stole the show. Nobody could have possibly known that he'd be the child of prophecy, or that ancient powers would rear their heads, or that aliens were behind it all. All we knew was that jutsu were wicked sick, Kakashi was the coolest dude ever, and anime fans will project their ships onto everything and anything. A simpler time for sure. But all of that still rings true, so in the spirit of nostalgia and good times, it's time for the complete Naruto recap. Welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, only 25% of our viewers are subscribed, so if you're a fan of the video, please like and double check if you are subscribed. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Prologue: Land of Waves. 12 years ago, there was once an evil monster known as the Nine-Tailed Demon Fox. One night, it attacked the village of Konoha and killed many innocent people. None of the ninja there could stop it, so the village leader, the 4th Hokage, cast a jutsu on the Nine-Tails that sealed it into a newborn boy and cost the 4th Hokage his life. 12 years after the Nine-Tails attack at the Ninja Academy, Naruto Uzumaki's reputation as a delinquent and troublemaker had earned him infamy among the teachers and students. Iruka Umino, and to a lesser extent the 3rd Hokage, were the only two positive influences on him. Despite this, Naruto continued to fail the graduation exam, which required students to demonstrate how much they had learned by performing the clone technique. While Naruto was decently skilled in most of the basic techniques taught at the academy, for some reason he has never been able to perform this one correctly, causing him to fail the final exam for graduation. Mizuki, another academy examiner, used Naruto's depression after his most recent failure to trick him into stealing the Scroll of Seals, a collection of forbidden techniques housed within the Hokage's study that could be dangerous in the wrong hands, claiming that Naruto would be automatically passed if he simply learned a technique from the scroll and performed it correctly. Not one to pass up such an opportunity, Naruto immediately did so, using the sexy technique to distract the 3rd Hokage long enough to escape with the scroll. Once he had fled to the neighboring woods, Naruto began his efforts in learning a technique from the scroll, the first of which happened to be the multiple shadow clone technique, something he wasn't happy about given his former failures at the ordinary clone technique. As search parties were sent out to find Naruto and retrieve the scroll, Iruka got to him first and found him to have been training the entire time. Ignorant of what he had done, Naruto simply repeated to Iruka what Mizuki had told him earlier, causing Iruka to realize that Mizuki was just trying to use Naruto to help him steal the scroll and later steal it for himself. As soon as Iruka realized this, Mizuki showed up and attacked them both. After he injured Iruka, who had pushed Naruto out of the way of an attack, Mizuki tried to get Naruto to give him the scroll while Iruka tried to convince Naruto to keep it. Their argument led Mizuki to tell Naruto the truth everyone had been keeping from him. Naruto was the container of the Nine-Tailed Demon Fox. Startled, Naruto ran off, leaving Iruka and Mizuki to fight each other. Naruto watched from a distance, eventually learning what Mizuki was after, as well as the true level of Iruka's devotion to Naruto. Just before Mizuki could kill Iruka, Naruto attacked Mizuki, threatening to kill him should he ever touch his sensei again. Confident in his superiority, Mizuki claimed he could beat Naruto with one attack, only for the exact opposite to happen. Using his newly learned multiple shadow clone technique, Naruto beat Mizuki to a bloody pulp. Impressed that Naruto could master such a difficult technique, Iruka let Naruto graduate, ironically fulfilling Mizuki's original promise. Upon graduating, Naruto was required to have his picture taken for identification purposes. Rather than having a standard picture, Naruto decided to paint his face and point at the camera in a menacing way. When the 3rd Hokage learned of this, he told Naruto to retake the picture. To express his disagreement on this matter, Naruto used his sexy technique in an attempt to convince the 3rd otherwise. Meanwhile, a young boy was watching the discussion and used the opportunity to attempt an attack upon the Hokage only to fall flat upon his face. His sensei, Ebisu, pursued the boy into the room and caught a glimpse of Naruto, whom he recognized as the container of the Demon Fox. The boy accused Naruto of setting a trap for him, and Naruto responded by grabbing a hold of the boy. Ebisu ordered Naruto to let the boy go, informing Naruto that the boy is none other than the 3rd Hokage's grandson. The boy, certain that Naruto, fearing the Hokage's wrath, will do no harm to him, taunted Naruto, who whacked the boy in the head due to his lack of fear towards the boy's relatives. Ebisu ran to the boy's side, informing him that if he wanted to be Hokage someday, he should avoid people like Naruto. Later on, Naruto found the boy to be following him and at the same time doing a bad job at disguising himself. The boy, with his cover blown, introduced himself as Konohamaru and expressed his desire to be taught the sexy technique due to its prior success at defeating the 3rd Hokage, in hopes that using it will make him Hokage. Naruto agreed and took Konohamaru on as his disciple. To learn the technique, Naruto tried to improve Konohamaru's transformation technique by showing him naked women via pornographic magazines and taking him to women's bathhouses. Eventually, they arrived in the woods for refinement of the technique, where Konohamaru explained that the people of the village didn't recognize him by his name and instead referred to him as the Hokage's grandson, which he grew tired of. Because of this, he hoped to become Hokage himself so people would finally recognize him properly. Soon after, Ebisu arrived to take Konohamaru home, lecturing him all the while. At that moment, Konohamaru performed a perfect sexy technique, which only caused Ebisu to lecture Konohamaru further, since he's not weak to such derogative techniques. Perplexed by the technique's apparent failure, Naruto used his harem technique, which succeeded in putting Ebisu out of commission. Konohamaru questioned why he was unable to defeat Ebisu by himself, and Naruto replied that becoming Hokage required a great deal of work, for which there were no shortcuts. Konohamaru denounced their student-teacher relationship on the grounds that they are both rivals for the title of Hokage. Naruto made the observation that, since he was an actual ninja, he would always be one step ahead of Konohamaru, but that he would look forward to the day that they met in battle. In order to officially obtain the rank of Genin, Academy students must be organized into groups of 3 to undergo a field evaluation administered by a Jonin, who would be their squad leader should they pass. On the day of organization, Naruto made sure to have a good breakfast and headed off to the academy, where the groups were to be decided. Upon arriving there, Naruto showed off his forehead protector to the other students, who thought he had failed. To Naruto's delight, Sakura Haruno started to approach him. However, his glee was quickly stifled when Sakura pushed him out of the way so that she might sit next to Sasuke Uchiha, which would anger all the girls in the room. Naruto, jealous of Sakura's affection for Sasuke, leapt upon the desk which they were sitting at so he could look Sasuke in the eye. To the disgust of Naruto, Sasuke, and every girl in the room, Naruto was bumped by another student and accidentally kissed Sasuke, earning him a beating from Sakura. As Naruto recovered, Iruka arrived to announce the 3-man teams, and as he started listing the members of Team 7, Naruto was pleased and Sakura was saddened to learn that the two would be on the same team. As the 3rd member was revealed, Sakura was pleased and Naruto was saddened to learn that Sasuke was their 3rd, who happened to dislike being teamed with the both of them. Iruka announced the remaining teams. Hinata Hyuga, Kiba Inuzuka, and Shino Abarame were revealed to compose Team 8. Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akamichi, and Ino Yamanaka were gonna be Team 10. Later, Sakura went off to look for Sasuke, ignoring Naruto, who wanted to have lunch with her. Angered that Sakura had yet again picked Sasuke over himself, Naruto formulated a plan to be with Sakura. Upon finding Sasuke alone in a room, Naruto leapt inside, where an unseen fight ensued. As things settled down, Sasuke was shown to be the only one leaving. Later on, Sasuke approached Sakura, who expressed her feelings for him and her distaste for Naruto. As the two were about to kiss, Sasuke, who was revealed to be a transformed Naruto, suffered a violent stomachache and ran off to the nearest bathroom. While Naruto dealt with his mysterious case of diarrhea, the real Sasuke approached Sakura. When she expressed her jealousy of Naruto for having no parents to tell him what to do, Sasuke stated that those without parents grow up lonely and that Sakura made him sick. Sasuke left the crushed Sakura by herself and she began to consider treating Naruto better. As Naruto finally exited the bathroom, he ran into Sasuke, and it seemed as though revenge on Sasuke's part was imminent. Elsewhere, the 3rd Hokage took Kakashi Hatake, Team 7's reluctant Jonin leader, on a tour of Naruto's home, and the latter noted that the milk Naruto seemed to have for breakfast was expired, causing him to frequently head for the bathroom. Soon afterwards, the members of Team 7, after a long wait, finally meet their Jonin sensei, who used the meeting as an opportunity for them to get to know one another. Kakashi went first and said he didn't feel like telling them anything about himself. Naruto proclaimed that he wanted to become Hokage one day and that he loved ramen. Sakura implied that she loved Sasuke and stated that she hated Naruto. Lastly, Sasuke asserted that he hated a lot of things, didn't like anything, and that he would someday kill a certain man that wronged him long ago. Kakashi ended the meeting by telling the others to be at the training grounds the next day with their ninja gear and advised them not to have breakfast. The next day, Kakashi arrived at the training grounds last, 4 hours later than planned. Kakashi then explained how the evaluation would work. It would be a survival battle, in which the aim was for each of the prospective students to take one of 2 bells from Kakashi. Anyone who didn't get a bell before noon would receive no lunch, which, as the others realized, was why he told them not to have breakfast. He then explained that because there were only 2 bells, at least one person would fail and return to the academy. He did, however, allow the others to use shuriken if they'd like, and informed them that they would fail if they attempted the mission with anything less than the intent to kill him. Naruto laughed at this suggestion, saying that Kakashi had no talent. Kakashi rebutted this, stating that class clowns were often the weakest link and that they didn't normally pose a threat, causing Naruto to attack Kakashi before the test officially began. Kakashi easily countered the attack and noted that he was starting to like the team, due to Naruto's attack having the intent to kill. He then sent off Team 7 to begin their test. As the test got underway, Sasuke and Sakura applied stealth methods, staying hidden from Kakashi. Naruto, however, decided that attacking Kakashi would work out as well and called him out. As Naruto charged at Kakashi, the latter pulled out a book, Make Out Paradise, causing Naruto to hesitate slightly, though Kakashi assured him that the book wouldn't prevent him from defending against Naruto. Naruto began a series of attacks, each of which was dodged by Kakashi. Eventually, Kakashi ended up behind Naruto and used his 1,000 years of death to send Naruto into the nearby lake. Naruto recovered and attacked Kakashi with a number of shadow clones, whose quantity impressed Sasuke and Sakura. Kakashi evaded all the clones' attacks with the body replacement technique, leaving them to fight amongst themselves, believing one of them to be Kakashi. Upon realizing this, Naruto dismissed his clones and then noticed a bell lying under a nearby tree. When he went to pick it up, however, he was trapped in a snare set by Kakashi, leaving the young ninja dangling upside down. Kakashi retrieved the bell and lectured Naruto about falling for obvious traps. At that moment, Sasuke, believing Kakashi to be distracted, attacked him with a barrage of shuriken and kunai, apparently killing Kakashi. This too was revealed to be a trap as the attacked Kakashi turned into a log, the result of another body replacement technique. Sasuke, his location revealed, went off to find a new hiding spot, while Sakura went looking for Sasuke. As she searched for him, she was tricked by Kakashi's Genjutsu, demonic illusion hell viewing technique, and as she recovered, Sasuke fell prey to Kakashi's earth release double suicide decapitation technique. Naruto, using Kakashi's absence to his advantage, released himself from the snare and attempted to eat the lunches Kakashi left behind. However, Kakashi caught him in the act and tied Naruto to a wooden post. Noon eventually rolled around and all three students had failed to get a bell. After their failure, Kakashi berated all three for their lack of teamwork. He explained to them that the purpose of the exam was to work together and not to act independently as they had all done. He said that he would give them all a second chance after lunch and allowed Sakura and Sasuke to eat. However, he ordered that Naruto, because of his attempt to eat all the food himself, should be barred from eating at all, and that anyone who gave him food would fail automatically. After he left, Sakura and Sasuke realized that they'd need Naruto in top shape if they were to retrieve the bells, and decided to defy Kakashi by feeding him. Kakashi, who had been watching, appeared before the genin in a puff of smoke, a furious look upon his face. At this moment, the third Hokage elsewhere revealed to Iruka that Kakashi had never passed a team of academy students, and that although the failure percentage was astounding, the reasons behind it were perfectly just. Back at the training grounds, Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke claimed that they were a team, and that therefore if one of them failed, then they all failed. Quickly changing his attitude, Kakashi informed them that they had passed, reciting the exact message he was trying to get across as his reason. In the ninja world, those who don't follow the rules are scum, but those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. While genin were normally assigned D-rank missions, Naruto insisted on doing something more exciting, and the third Hokage agreed to send them on a C-rank mission to escort Tazuna, a master bridge builder, back to the Land of Waves. During their mission, the team was attacked by two Chunin, enemies at a level that wasn't supposed to be encountered on a C-rank mission. Naruto, surprised by the Chunin's appearances, panicked and was struck by one of the Chunin's poisonous metal gauntlets. Sasuke, in Naruto's absence, dealt with the attackers quite efficiently, and rubbed it in by one-upping Naruto and calling him a scaredy cat. Once the attackers had been restrained, Naruto bled out the poison he had received by stabbing his wound with a kunai, swearing upon the pain in his hand never to freeze up and leave his friends to fend for themselves ever again. Kakashi, his suspicions raised by the attack, asked Tazuna for the truth about the circumstances of the mission. Tazuna explained that the Land of Waves had been taken over by a shipping magnate called Gato, who had effectively bankrupted all the people of the country, and that the only way to revitalize the economy was by building a bridge to the mainland that would render moot Gato's shipping monopoly. However, Gato did not want that to happen and used shinobi gangs to assert his control. Team 7's actual mission was to support and protect the bridge-building efforts that had been thwarted thus far. Upon arrival at the Land of Waves and on the way to Tazuna's home, Naruto, bent on outdoing Sasuke, threw a kunai at a bush, surprising the other ninja and putting them on guard. Once it was clear that it was nothing, Sakura yelled at him for his apparent mistake, but Naruto threw another kunai in a bush in the other direction. Sakura hit him on the head this time, though Naruto swore he had sensed something. As it turned out, he had sensed a snow rabbit, which was now scared out of its mind due to the kunai only an inch from its head. Naruto apologized to and sympathized profusely with the rabbit, picking it up and hugging it to an extreme. While the others dismissed his antics as Naruto's usual idiocy, Kakashi noticed something strange about the rabbit. Its fur was white. Snow rabbits are only white during winter, meaning that this one had been raised indoors and therefore belonged to someone nearby. Kakashi suddenly told everyone to duck as a giant sword spun past them, nearly killing them all. It embedded itself into a tree, and Zabuza Momochi, a missing nin from Kirigakure, jumped onto its handle, intent on killing Tazuna. Kakashi, recognizing Zabuza as a formidable opponent, revealed his Sharingan, saying that he'll need to use it. Zabuza, honored by Kakashi's willingness to go all out for their battle, stated that he would consider it a testament to his own skill if he were to kill Kakashi. Zabuza ended the conversation with his hiding in mist technique, summoning a thick veil of mist from the nearby lake in order to hide himself from the Sharingan. Kakashi ordered Team 7 to protect Tazuna, though Zabuza asserted that such protection was useless, instantly appearing in the center of their formation. As Zabuza was about to make an attack with his sword, Kakashi raced toward them and stabbed Zabuza in the stomach with his kunai just before his stroke could fall. Water poured out of Zabuza's body and it collapsed into a puddle as the real Zabuza appeared behind Kakashi, revealing that Zabuza had used the water clone technique to fool him. Zabuza proceeded to slice Kakashi in half, but Kakashi's body too dissolved into water, surprising Zabuza as he realized that Kakashi's Sharingan must have copied the water clone technique as Zabuza charged toward him. Kakashi appeared behind Zabuza, mocking him by saying that it was over. To everyone's surprise, a second Zabuza appeared behind Kakashi and grabbed him, and the first one reverted to a pool of water. Kakashi attempted to break free of Zabuza's grasp, but was instead thrown into a nearby lake. As he emerged, Zabuza trapped him with his water prison technique, leaving Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura to defend against another of Zabuza's clones. Kakashi told the genin to run, but Naruto remembered the oath he had made to himself and entered the fight so they could save Kakashi and keep Tazuna alive. Naruto created a number of shadow clones that proceeded to completely surround Zabuza's water clone. Zabuza's clone swung his sword, and the shadow clones scattered and disappeared, forcing the only remaining Naruto to reach into his backpack and pull out a Fuma Shuriken, which he gave to Sasuke. Sasuke, sensing Naruto's plan, hurled the Fuma Shuriken at Zabuza, who easily grabbed it from the air. To his surprise, a second Shuriken was hiding in the shadow of the first due to Sasuke's Shadow Shuriken technique, and Zabuza was forced to leap over it to avoid being damaged. Once past Zabuza, the second Shuriken turned into Naruto, who had transformed himself. Naruto threw a kunai at Zabuza, who, unable to dodge it while maintaining the water prison technique, was forced to release Kakashi from his prison in order to avoid the attack. With Kakashi free, Zabuza was forced to commence their battle, and the two used multiple water release techniques against each other. Due to his Sharingan, Kakashi was able to take the upper hand and defeat Zabuza with Zabuza's own attack. Just as Kakashi was about to land the final blow, a masked ninja, later revealed to be named Haku, appeared to kill Zabuza by impaling Zabuza's neck with several senbon. After revealing himself to be a hunter nin sent to kill Zabuza, he disappeared with Zabuza's body. Kakashi, momentarily satisfied with this turn of events, decided that it was time to continue escorting Tazuna, only to collapse due to chakra exhaustion seconds later as a result of his overuse of the Sharingan. Kakashi is later seen bedridden with a crutch as a result of this battle. Kakashi was taken to Tazuna's home for recovery, and as he rested, he made the observation that Zabuza's apparent death was odd. When hunter nin killed their target, they usually began to destroy it on the spot. On the other hand, the ninja who they'd met had taken Zabuza's body elsewhere instead of operating immediately. This, coupled with the fact that Zabuza had been killed with senbon, weapons that were rarely fatal and useful for knocking people out, led Kakashi to believe that Zabuza was alive and that he'd be back to finish Tazuna's assassination. Elsewhere, Zabuza was revived by Haku, and although he would need time to recover, he promised to crush Kakashi when they next met. With Zabuza's return a likely outcome, Kakashi took Team 7 to the nearby woods for chakra training, and told them that the training would require them to learn to climb trees without using their hands. Naruto made the observation that this is impossible, but Kakashi, in crutches, managed to climb the tree with ease, explaining that the key to doing so was focusing chakra in the soles of the feet. The three genin all made an attempt. Naruto, not using enough chakra, took only one step before falling back to the ground. Sasuke was able to make it a good distance up the trunk, though he damaged it as a result of using too much chakra, and Sakura, having perfect control over her chakra, made it to a high branch on her first attempt, finishing her training. For the boys, however, the training continues, and Naruto, still unable to make it far up the tree, asked Sakura for advice. Sakura complied, and Kakashi made the observation that Naruto was finally getting a good grasp on teamwork. Sakura was left in charge of protecting Tazuna while Naruto and Sasuke continued their training. As Naruto began to catch up to Sasuke, Sasuke casually asked to know what advice Sakura had given Naruto, but Naruto, determined to beat Sasuke, refused to give it away. During dinner one night, Sakura asked about a torn picture that Inari, Tazuna's grandson, had been looking at. Tazuna explains that the man in the missing portion of the picture was Kaiza, Inari's father, whom Inari had idolized and thought of as his biological parent, though Kaiza had adopted him. One day, years prior, a flood had threatened to destroy the village, and Kaiza had single-handedly managed to close the floodgates, earning him the title of hero amongst the villagers. Once Gato came to the country, however, Kaiza's heroic deeds angered Gato, and therefore Gato had him executed in front of the villagers, including Inari. From that day forth, the villagers lost hope, and Inari was crushed, disbelieving the possible existence of a hero. Naruto, determined to prove to Inari that there was such thing as a hero, rushed off to continue his training. As Naruto rested in the woods one day, he encountered Haku, though he was unaware of Haku's identity and thought him just to be a pretty girl. The two discussed their dreams. Naruto wished to become the Kage of his village, while Haku wanted to protect the person most precious to him, explaining that when one was protecting a precious person, one's strength reached its maximum. Naruto agreed with this statement, remembering all of the people who had protected him. With that, Haku left, though not before confusing Naruto to no end by asserting that he was a boy. Training for Naruto and Sasuke continued, and eventually the two were able to climb to the very tops of their trees, though Naruto was exhausted as a result. Seeing Naruto in this condition, a tearful Inari proclaimed that Naruto was wasting his time and that Gato would still defeat him. Naruto replied that he would win, and sarcastically congratulated Inari for always crying, calling him a brat. As Inari sulked, Kakashi explained to Inari how Naruto had also grown up without a father, and that he also had no mother and therefore had a sad life. Kakashi also mentioned that despite these conditions, he'd never seen Naruto cry, and theorized that Naruto one day grew tired of crying over himself. This explanation and the suggestion that Naruto is the only person present who knew what Inari was going through touched Inari. The next morning, Kakashi, Sasuke, and Sakura escorted Tazuna to work at the bridge, leaving Naruto behind to rest. Upon arriving at the bridge, however, they found that Tazuna's workers were attacked, and the area quickly became covered with a veil of mist. After a quick defeat of Zabuza's water clones at the hands of Sasuke, Zabuza and a masked Haku revealed themselves, confirming Kakashi's suspicions. Back at Tazuna's house, two of Gato's thugs arrived to kidnap Inari's mother. Inari, inspired by Naruto's story, attempted to save his mother by himself. Just as he was about to be cut down by the thugs, Naruto appeared and defeated the two single-handedly. Naruto congratulated Inari for finally standing up for himself and left to join the rest of his team. Back at the bridge, Sasuke battled with Haku, and Zabuza was surprised to find that Sasuke could keep up with Haku's speed. Haku, also noticing Sasuke's capabilities, decided to use his trump card, Demonic Mirroring Ice Crystals, which trapped Sasuke in a cage of ice. Haku proceeded to pummel Sasuke with wave after wave of Senbon barrages, which were made effectively undodgeable as a result of Haku's technique. Eventually, Naruto arrived and managed a sneak attack on Haku. Just as Zabuza was about to attack Naruto, Haku asked to be the one to fight him, to which Zabuza agreed. Sasuke began to formulate a plan, thinking that it would be easier to defeat Haku with Naruto attacking from the outside. To his dismay, Naruto entered the cage of ice to see how Sasuke was doing, and he too became a prisoner of Haku's technique. Naruto and Sasuke both attempted to destroy the ice mirrors but were unsuccessful. This turn of events led Kakashi to believe that Haku was using a Kekai Genkai, and that Naruto and Sasuke had no chance of winning. Because of this, he once again revealed his Sharingan, expressing his desire to finish the battle quickly. Zabuza explained that he had learned how to defeat the Sharingan and disappeared into the mist. As Kakashi instructed Sakura to guard Tazuna, Zabuza struck, revealing to Kakashi that Zabuza was now attacking with his eyes closed, making the Sharingan's ocular genjutsu useless. Zabuza, explaining that his specialty is killing people based purely on sound, attempted to finish off Tazuna, but Kakashi made himself into a human shield at the last second. Heavily injured, Kakashi resorted to using an attack that he himself had created. Meanwhile, the fight between Haku, Naruto, and Sasuke continued, with the two genin having sustained heavy wounds. Sasuke, however, was starting to dodge Haku's attacks. Haku, noticing this, attempted to attack an exhausted Naruto instead, but Sasuke managed to pull Naruto out of the way. A shocked Haku noticed Sasuke's eyes, and it was revealed that as a member of the Uchiha clan, Sasuke had finally awoken his own Kekai Genkai, the Sharingan, which enabled him to see Haku's movements with ease. Haku, fearing for his success at winning the battle, goes for a finishing blow on Naruto, but Sasuke rushes to Naruto's side to stop the attack with his own body. When Naruto awakened, he found a severely wounded Sasuke standing over him. When Naruto asked why Sasuke had saved him, he replied that it was merely instinct, and he fell into Naruto's arms. After admitting that he had promised not to die before killing his brother, Sasuke fell unconscious, and Haku asked Naruto whether it was the first time he had witnessed death. Naruto, enraged by the apparent loss of Sasuke, began to emit a visible chakra, and Haku noted that it was pure evil. As the chakra poured out, Naruto's wounds began to heal and he acquired claws, fangs, and slitted pupils. Zabuza and Kakashi both sensed this new chakra and each initially wondered whether it belonged to the other Jonin, but Zabuza noted that the chakra was far too powerful to belong to Kakashi, and Kakashi was able to recognize it as that of the nine-tailed fox. Kakashi worried that the seal keeping the nine-tailed fox within Naruto would break soon and decided to pull out all the stops. He drew a scroll, smeared his blood on it, and told Zabuza that they should now end the battle. A transformed Naruto began to attack Haku, who attempted to counter with a barrage of needles which were easily repelled by Naruto's roar. Haku attempted a physical attack, but Naruto was able to dodge it and grab the now fleeing Haku in an instant. After releasing a large amount of chakra, Naruto gave Haku a deafening punch in the face, sending him flying through a nearby mirror and destroying all the other mirrors as a result. Once Haku's body came to a stop, he rose, and Naruto charged at him so he could give the finishing blow. As he did so, Haku's mask began to crack and break away, revealing the face of the boy who Naruto had met in the woods. Mere inches from Haku's face, Naruto stopped his attack and returned to his normal form. Haku questioned why Naruto was sparing him only to receive a weak punch to the face. Haku explained that with his defeat had come his uselessness to Zabuza, and that because he could no longer protect Zabuza, his most precious person, he should die. Naruto didn't understand the reason for wanting death, but Haku began to plead for it nonetheless. With the bloodstained scroll, Kakashi summoned a number of dogs to find and restrain Zabuza. Explaining that he had allowed Zabuza to injure him so he could acquire Zabuza's scent, Kakashi proclaimed that this would finally be the end of Zabuza. With that, Kakashi gathered chakra in his hand and readied his lightning cutter for use. Meanwhile, Haku had finally managed to persuade Naruto to kill him, using Sasuke's apparent death as a reason for revenge. Naruto prepared a kunai and charged at Haku, hoping that death would make Haku's dreams come true, but at the last moment, Haku stopped the attack. He apologized, saying he couldn't die yet, and disappeared. Kakashi charged towards Zabuza while at the same time a number of mirrors began to surround Zabuza as protection. As the lightning cutter made contact with flesh, needles struck the bloody scroll and the dogs holding Zabuza in place disappeared. To Kakashi's surprise, he impaled Haku, who had used the last of his strength to grab hold of Kakashi. Elsewhere, Inari was going door to door in an attempt to rally support for taking down Gato and his men. The villagers, not wanting to fight back anymore, refused, to which Inari replied that he would protect those he loved, as crying wouldn't save anyone. Once he got home, Inari's mother pleaded for him not to go, but Inari insisted that as Kaisa's son, he must fight. As he left the house, Inari was startled to find many shadowy figures surrounding his door. Naruto, confused by Haku's disappearance, rushed towards the figures he could see in the now fading mist. Upon his arrival, he found the gruesome scene of Haku's death, and Zabuza preparing to make good use of the opportunity Haku had given him. As Zabuza was about to finish the swing of his sword, Kakashi jumped out of the way, taking Haku's body with him. After removing his hand from Haku's body and laying his body down, Kakashi ordered Naruto to stay out of the fight. Sakura, now noticing Naruto, asked where Sasuke was. When Naruto looked away and didn't reply, she guessed at what happened and quickly escorted Tazuna to Sasuke's body, where she broke shinobi rules and cried. Zabuza, meanwhile, was unable to touch Kakashi, and with every attempt to strike him down, he was thrown backwards. With one such parry, one of Zabuza's arms was made useless, and with another attack by Kakashi, the other arm was put out of commission. As Zabuza's defenselessness was made apparent, Gato and his forces arrived to take the assassination of Tazuna into their own hands. As Zabuza and Kakashi decided that they no longer have a reason to fight each other, Gato noticed Haku's body and defiled it as vengeance for an injury Haku had earlier given him. This, coupled with Zabuza's indifference, infuriated Naruto, leading him to decide that Zabuza is still his enemy. Naruto explained how Haku had felt about Zabuza, and how Haku had done everything within his power to serve Zabuza. As Naruto decried how Haku had died as a tool that never achieved his dreams, Zabuza broke into tears, admitting defeat to Naruto. As he began to reflect upon the pureness of Haku's heart and the devotion that Haku had held towards him, Zabuza tore away the cloth covering his mouth and borrowed a kunai from Naruto. Catching the kunai in his mouth, Zabuza charged through Gato's forces, slaying anyone who got in his way, even while being stabbed many times. Upon reaching Gato, Zabuza proclaimed that he would not be able to go to the same resting place as Haku, and that he would be taking Gato with him to hell. With that, Zabuza ended Gato's life. Using the last of his energy, he thanked Haku for everything and apologized, falling to the ground with exhaustion. As Zabuza's life began to fade, Sasuke awakened, overjoying Sakura. After asking Sakura to release him, Sasuke asked of Haku's fate. Learning that he had died, Sasuke realized that Haku had never meant to kill him or Naruto. Sakura called out to Naruto that Sasuke was alright, and Naruto was overwhelmed by the good news. Gato's men, meanwhile, were now without a paycheck and decided to loot the town as payment for coming. As Naruto and Kakashi, both exhausted, tried to figure out what to do, an arrow fell to the ground in front of the imposing forces. Everyone's attention was drawn to its source, Inari and the entirety of the town's population, who had come to start protecting themselves. To contribute to the already intimidating forces, Naruto and Kakashi used what little chakra they had left to create what appeared to be a large number of shadow clones, causing the mercenaries to flee to the boat that they'd used to get to the bridge. Kakashi approached Zabuza, who asked to see Haku one last time. Kakashi complied and laid Zabuza's broken body alongside Haku's. As snow began to fall, Zabuza asked Haku whether he was crying and asserted that just as Haku had always been by his side in life, he was now by Haku's side in death. With his last breath, he expressed his desire to go to the same afterlife as Haku if only he could. Kakashi remarked that Zabuza would be able to be with Haku in death, as they could go to the afterlife together. Haku and Zabuza were buried side by side, and Naruto, having witnessed the fate of Shinobi, decided to live his life in his own way, not letting others tell him how. The bridge was completed and Team 7 prepared to leave. As they bade farewell to Tazuna and his family, Naruto told Inari that it was okay to cry. Inari, saying he didn't want to, said the same to Naruto, who also said he didn't want to. As Naruto walked away, both broke into tears, causing Sakura to call them both idiots. As they both disappeared into the distance, Tazuna proclaimed that the bridge would be called the Great Naruto Bridge to signify the strength that Naruto gave Inari, who in turn spread it to the whole town. Chunin exams. Team 7 returned to Konoha to continue with their lives as regular genin. One day, whilst playing with Konohamaru, Udan, and Moegi, Naruto met 3 genin from Sunagakure, Gaara, Kankuro, and Tomari, and learned that they were in Konoha to participate in the Chunin selection exams. Meanwhile, Kakashi, Asuma, and Kurenai all volunteered their teams for the exam as well. Naruto was thrilled at the possibility of becoming a Chunin. The first part of the exam, proctored by Ibiki Marino, was written, but it was not a test of knowledge as much as a test of information gathering and willpower. The first 9 questions were supposed to be obtained by cheating, where the genin must use any techniques to find out the correct answer without being caught. Naruto, who did not realize this, went into a traumatic state in which he felt that he could cause his entire team to be eliminated, as he did not know the answer to any of the questions. Sasuke realized that he too did not know the answers, but immediately activated his Sharingan to copy someone else's answers. Sakura, as a testament to her incredible intellect, answered all the questions quickly, a feat which the examiner later said could not be accomplished at a genin level. The last question was do or die. If one didn't answer, one's entire team failed the Chunin exams, but if one answered incorrectly, one would remain a genin forever. Naruto showed that he was not a quitter when he exclaimed that he didn't care if he stayed a genin forever, and that even if it came to pass, he would still become Hokage. The genin who chose to answer the question all passed the first part of the Chunin exams, including Naruto, who didn't answer a single question on the written part of the exam. The second part of the exam, proctored by Unko Mitarashi, was a survival exam in the 44th training ground, also known as the Forest of Death. During this part, Naruto found himself in a desperate situation against Orochimaru, an S-rank missing nin from Konoha so powerful that the 3rd Hokage later mentioned that there was nobody in Konoha that could fight him equally. It turned out that Orochimaru used to be one of the 3rd Hokage's pupils, also known as the Sannin. Naruto and Sasuke's reactions to the situation were a complete reversal of what happened in the Land of Waves mission. Sasuke was frozen in fear, while Naruto fought on fearlessly, at one point stopping Orochimaru's huge summoned snake in its tracks on his own, with the help of some Demon Fox chakra, and muttering to Sasuke in a moment of glorious retribution that marked another milestone in their rivalry, "You're not hurt, are you, scaredy cat?" Naruto eventually snapped Sasuke out of his panic. However, Orochimaru used the 5 element seal on Naruto, disrupting the flow of the Demon Fox's chakra as well as Naruto's own. However, Orochimaru was too much for Sasuke as well. In the end, Orochimaru put a cursed seal of heaven onto Sasuke's neck, saying that Sasuke would eventually come to him for the power he needed to kill his brother, Itachi Uchiha. Orochimaru then left, sending his 3 genin, Team Dosu from Otogakure, to go after Sasuke. Meanwhile, Anko was informed about the corpses of 3 genin from Kusagakure. She recognized one of them as Shiore. She found out that someone must have killed the genin and used their faces to disguise themselves and enter the exams. She suspected that the Shiore who took the exams was actually Orochimaru. She ran off to confront Orochimaru only to have her cursed seal of heaven reactivated by him. Orochimaru warned her not to stop the exams. While both Naruto and Sasuke were unconscious from the fight against Orochimaru, Sakura has to take care of them. It was there that Sakura's personality reached a turning point. As Kintsuchi of Team Dosu trapped her by roughly holding her hair, Sakura realized how pathetic her behavior was, always blindly praising and criticizing others, when she was the one who hadn't improved at all. She reflected on herself, thinking how she was always telling Naruto that she was better than him when he had been the one who was consistently improving, and telling Sasuke she loved him when she couldn't even muster up enough strength to protect him as a teammate, before she symbolically freed herself by cutting off her long hair with a kunai, which she had initially kept long because it had been rumored that Sasuke liked girls with long hair. She also decided to fight against the Oto Genin, and resolved to no longer be dependent on her teammates. At this point, Team 10 arrived on the scene. Rock Lee fought the Oto Nin and used the front lotus on Dosu, who was saved by Zaku, but admitted that the lotus still almost killed him. Rock Lee is then defeated by Dosu. Team 10 fights the Oto Ninja to save Sakura, but ultimately fails. The rest of Team 9 arrives at the scene. Dosu, leader of Team Dosu, mentioned that Neji could see through them, but before Neji could attack, an awakened Sasuke intervened. The cursed seal on Sasuke had by now started to take effect, and in a state of insanity and murderous intent, Sasuke defeated Zaku Abumi of Team Dosu, going so far as to dislocate his shoulders for no other reason than to cause him pain. Before he could do any more damage to anyone else, however, Sakura hugged Sasuke, crying and begging him to stop, allowing Sasuke to regain control of the seal. Dosu left with his teammates, wondering why Orochimaru had sent him to kill Sasuke if he had known that Sasuke would have the cursed seal. Team 7 still managed to make it past the second stage by defeating Team Oboro of Amagakure, with a little help from Kabuto Yakashi, a fellow Konoha ninja. 7 teams managed to pass, which was more than twice as many as had been expected. To cut down on the prevailing genin from the second exam, a preliminary round was staged before the third and final stage of the Chunin exams. The 21 people, or 20 after Kabuto withdrew, were to be matched up with each other in a fight that lasted until somebody gave in or was unable to continue fighting. The proctor of the exam, Hayate Gecko, did reserve the right to step in and stop the fight when he felt that there was a clear winner. Sakura at first attempted to tell the examiners that the cursed seal that Orochimaru had placed on Sasuke was seriously debilitating him, but Sasuke stopped her and told her to mind her own business. At that point, Naruto stepped in to stand up for Sakura, but was swiftly silenced by Sasuke, who acknowledged Naruto by declaring that he was one of the people he wanted to fight. Later on, Naruto would return the sentiment. The first matchup was Sasuke Uchiha against a member of Kabuto's team, Yoroi Akado. Before the fight started, Kakashi warned Sasuke that if his cursed seal got out of control, he would have to intervene and stop the match to control the seal. This barred Sasuke from using any technique as the seal responds to flows of chakra. The match started with Yoroi stealing Sasuke's chakra with his chakra absorption. The match seemed hopeless for Sasuke until he heard Naruto's taunts. Next to him was Rock Lee, which gave Sasuke an idea. He used the Lion Combo, a partial copy of Rock Lee's Front Lotus, which had been captured by Sasuke's Sharingan. Yoroi was knocked unconscious, and Sasuke advanced to the next round. After the fight, Kakashi took Sasuke away to deal with the cursed seal. Up next were Zaku Abumi and Shino Aburame of Konoha's Team 8. Zaku apparently only had one functional arm, but he bet that he could win regardless. Elsewhere, the cursed seal was sealed by Kakashi, but then Orochimaru showed up for Sasuke, asserting that all the genin he currently had at his command were disposable. As Kakashi readied his lightning cutter, Shino commanded a multitude of insects to attack Zaku from behind, leaving the one-armed Zaku unable to defend himself with his unidirectional technique. Zaku then revealed he could use both arms, but it was too late. The insects had blocked the tubes in Zaku's arms, building up the chakra that he was trying to use and making the arms explode, thus ending the fight. Orochimaru left, saying that Sasuke would be his someday. The match with Misumi Tsurugi against Kankuro of Tsunagakure's 3 Sand siblings began. Misumi quickly used soft physique modification to restrain Kankuro and threatened to snap his neck, until it was revealed that the Kankuro Misumi was fighting was just a puppet. The real Kankuro was disguised, controlling the puppet with the puppet technique. He used the puppet Karasu to crush Misumi's bones, defeating him. The fourth match, Sakura vs Ino of Konoha's Team 10, was particularly meaningful as the two were rivals. The match dragged on for a very long time, since they seemed to be quite on par, until Ino tried to possess Sakura's body to force her to forfeit the match. However, Sakura's will expelled Ino from her mind. Exhausted and out of chakra, they both went for a final attack, hitting each other at the exact same time and rendering each other unconscious. Hayate declared that neither of them would move on to the next round. The fifth match was Tenten of Konoha's Team Guy against Temari of Tsunagakure's Sand siblings. The match was over quickly, as all the projectile weapons used by Tenten were completely countered by the wind release techniques used by Temari, who won without taking so much as a single scratch. Rock Lee jumped down to avenge Temari's treatment of Tenten, but Might Guy stopped what would have turned into a fight. The sixth match, Shikamaru Nara of Konoha's Team 10 against Kintsuchi, was next, with Shikamaru aware that he was at a disadvantage, since Kin had seen him use his shadow imitation technique in the Forest of Death without showing her own fighting style. Kin started by dodging the shadow imitation technique and throwing Senbon with and without bells, using strings to ring the bells from unexpected positions to divert Shikamaru's attention and attack him from behind. Shikamaru, however, managed to join his shadow with hers, using the shadows of the strings that she was holding. With Kin matching Shikamaru's movements, each drew a shuriken and flung it at the other. When it came time for them to duck, Shikamaru ducked successfully, but Kin, having previously retreated, banged her head against the wall and knocked herself out, which turned out to be the true goal of Shikamaru's battle strategy. Shikamaru emerged as the winner. Naruto, still impaired by the 5-element seal, was matched up with Kiba of Konohagakure's Team 8 in the 7th match. The fight went poorly for Naruto at first, especially after Kiba's Ninken, Akamaru, joined the fight and transformed into Kiba with the Beast Human Clone technique. Naruto made a comeback by transforming in a layered fashion into Akamaru and then Kiba, so that when Kiba attacked Naruto, the second transformation as Kiba gave way to the first as Akamaru, leading Kiba to attack Akamaru, still affected by Beast Human Clone. Kiba then focused on attacking intensively to keep Naruto from counterattacking, until Naruto accidentally broke wind, which stunned Kiba, whose sense of smell was magnified 1,000 times. Naruto then beat Kiba by using shadow clones to perform a new technique, the Naruto Uzumaki combo. The 8th match brought a family rivalry to the forefront as Hinata and Neji of the Hyuga clan battled. Kiba, being borne away on a stretcher, urged Hinata to forfeit. At first, Neji assaulted Hinata psychologically, using her fears to convince her that she had no possibility of winning. However, after being inspired by Naruto's courage, Hinata decided to fight to prove that she could be brave as well. They both fought using the Hyuga Gentle Fist and the Byakugan, a Kekkei Genkai which Kakashi asserted to surpass the Sharingan. While they initially seemed to be equally matched, Neji managed to interrupt Hinata's chakra flow in her arms, disabling her ability to use Gentle Fist. Hinata still tried to go on, and it was only the exam proctor's intervention that stopped Neji from killing her. Hinata's bravery still managed to inspire Naruto, as he vowed to battle and win against Neji in the 3rd exam. The 9th match pitted Lee against Gaara of Suna's Sand siblings. At first, none of Rock Lee's taijutsu attacks managed to penetrate or circumvent Gaara's shield of sand, until Lee removed the weights he was wearing on his legs. The boost of speed was such that Gaara's sand couldn't follow Lee's movements, and Gaara was hit for the first time in his life. However, Gaara was revealed to be using armor of sand to keep Lee's attacks from working on him. Realizing that his normal attacks will no longer work, Lee then used his front lotus on Gaara, but in the end it was revealed to be a sand clone. Having no other way to end the match, and with Guy's permission, Lee then opened 5 of the inner chakra gates, the result being that Lee's strength was multiplied immensely for a short time, but also severely injured him. He then proceeded to continuously beat Gaara with his reverse lotus. However, as Gaara fell to the ground, he dispersed his sand gourd as a cushion to break his fall. Gaara then used his sand-binding coffin to crush Rock Lee's left arm and leg. Might Guy jumped down to prevent Gaara from killing Lee, and regretted having taught Lee how to open the inner gates after learning from the medical ninja that Lee would no longer be able to be a ninja due to his intense injuries. Gaara won the match. The last match was Choji Akamichi of Konohagakure's Team 10 versus Dosu Kanuta. Choji was reluctant to battle, instead wanting to forfeit, but tried after being promised food by his sensei, Asuma Saratobi, if he won. Choji entered the battle with prior knowledge of Dosu's sound-based attacks and quickly used Human Bullet Tank to plug his ears from the Oto Ninja's attacks. However, Dosu overcame this by transmitting his sound through the water in Choji's body, thus defeating him. After the preliminary ends and drawing lots to determine the first round matchups for the main tournament, there was a 1-month period in which the remaining genin could prepare themselves. Various dignitaries were also invited to watch the main matches. During this month, Naruto met Jiraiya, another Sannin, for the first time. Jiraiya agreed to be his sensei and was the one who taught him most of the advanced techniques he learned during that time. Under Jiraiya, Naruto improved his chakra control by practicing walking on water and learned how to call upon the Demon Fox's energy at will after Jiraiya used the 5 Elements Unseal to cancel Orochimaru's 5 Elements Seal, and how to use the summoning technique to call the giant toad Gamabunta to his aid, but was so exhausted after completing his training that Gamabunta carried him to the hospital. Also, during the month of training, Dosu, who was trying to sneak up on and kill Gaara, was ripped to shreds by him. Hayate was murdered by Baki, the Jonin of the Sand siblings, after he overheard Baki talking with Kabuto about their plans to invade Konoha. Gaara also attempted to assassinate Lee in the hospital on the day before the finals, but was stopped by Naruto and Shikamaru. Gaara revealed his past, which led to Naruto realizing that they had similar histories of prejudice before Guy stepped in and forced Gaara to leave. Due to the fact that Hayate Gecko was murdered during the 1-month break, Genma Shiranui became the proctor for the final exam. The first match was Naruto versus Neji. Naruto's fight with Neji in the first match of the finals was a very dramatic one. During the fight, Neji lectured Naruto much as he had done with Hinata during the preliminaries, telling Naruto that failures remained failures and that this could not change. Naruto eventually won the battle through a combination of the Demon Fox's power sealed within him and sheer belief in victory. In the process, he changed Neji's outlook on life and inspired him to create his own fate, thus forming another important bond. Naruto was able to make Neji understand that destiny could be changed, and they became good friends from that point on. The second match, which featured Sasuke versus Gaara, was moved to be the last, as Sasuke hadn't arrived yet. Normally, he would have been disqualified on the spot, but his match had been highly anticipated. In fact, some of the crowd commented that they had mostly come just to see him fight, forcing the third Hokage to give in to the Kazekage's request to postpone the match. The third match, which featured Shino versus Konkoro, was given to Shino by default, since Konkoro forfeited to keep his techniques a secret before the invasion was launched. The fourth match was Temari versus Shikamaru. Both Temari and Shikamaru were excellent strategists, but Shikamaru was better. Although it appeared throughout the match that Shikamaru was using pointless attacks, he was actually 5 steps ahead, and managed to skillfully manipulate Temari into a position where he could attack from behind, using the tunnel which Naruto had dug during his match with Neji to stealthily extend his shadow imitation technique. This took control over Temari's body and forced her to imitate every one of Shikamaru's movements. Although Shikamaru could have won, he quit instead, saying that he was too low on chakra. His real reason for quitting, however, seems to be because he's incredibly lazy and saw no point in winning, which would only lead to having to fight in further matches. He also didn't want to hurt a girl. Gaara vs Sasuke came around again. This was the battle that the crowd had been looking forward to. Sasuke arrived right on time as the match was about to begin. Sasuke demonstrated that his speed had vastly increased, to the point where the sand guarding Gaara could not keep up. Sasuke also demonstrated Chidori, a technique he had learned from Kakashi and Kakashi's only original technique, to injure Gaara. Before the match could finish, however, a smoke bomb was set off in the Kage's box. Kabuto, who was actually working for Orochimaru, used Genjutsu to put almost everyone in the crowd to sleep, and Konoha Crush commenced. Konoha Crush. With the invasion of Konoha beginning, Suna and Oto ninja pour into Konoha, using giant snakes to topple the village's protective wall. As this goes on, the 4th Kazekage holds a kunai to the 3rd Hokage's neck, holding him hostage and allowing them both to get to the roof of the sitting area without confrontation. As Anbu members try to come to the 3rd's rescue, the Kazekage's minions erect the 4 Violet Flames formation, preventing anyone from getting in or out. As the Kazekage begins to mock the 3rd for getting so old, and even going so far as to call him sensei, the 3rd realizes that this is actually Orochimaru in disguise. He then sheds his disguise so he can face his former master face to face. The 3rd Hokage, knowing that Orochimaru has come to kill him, removes his Hokage's outfit, revealing his battle gear underneath. Orochimaru comments that the 3rd came prepared for their battle, and the two stare each other down. When one of the tiles on the roof cracks, they begin their battle. The 3rd starts by sending hundreds of shuriken at Orochimaru, who blocks the attack by summoning 3 coffins to shield himself. The 3rd, recognizing the coffins, deduces what Orochimaru is trying to do, and attempts to stop them from opening, though only 2 coffins open and the reanimated corpses of the 1st and 2nd Hokage step out. The 2 deceased Hokage greet the 3rd and comment on the impressiveness of Orochimaru being able to summon them. In response, the 3rd states that he regrets having to see the 2 again as opponents and tells them to prepare for defeat. Orochimaru prepares the 2 Hokage for battle, removing the effects that death has had on their bodies and erasing their personalities. Angered by Orochimaru's use of his former teachers, the 3rd attacks the group, though his efforts are neutralized and he's thrown back and restrained by the 1st Hokage's ability to summon trees. Realizing he's outnumbered, the 3rd summons Enma to help him in battle, who transforms into a large staff to give the 3rd a weapon. With Enma in hand, the 3rd tries to attack Orochimaru, though he is again repelled by the other 2 Hokage. Using his failure as an opportunity, the 3rd plants explosive tags on the 2 Hokage, taking away each of their legs. The legs, however, regenerate, showing the 3rd that conventional attacks are useless. Out of options, the 3rd prepares to use the only jutsu that will work, though Orochimaru first decides to show him something. Removing the mask he'd been wearing, Orochimaru reveals his true face, that of a young woman, whose body Orochimaru had stolen and begun to occupy. Recognizing this as Orochimaru's success and finally achieving a path to immortality, the search for which he had been expelled from Konoha for, the 3rd begins to understand why Orochimaru has come to Konoha, to take the body of Sasuke Uchiha. Determined to not let this happen, and to rectify his mistake of allowing Orochimaru to escape years earlier, the 3rd creates 2 shadow clones, and all of the 3rds prepare to use the Dead Demon Consuming Seal, a technique the 3rd claims Orochimaru, despite his extensive knowledge of jutsu, has never seen before. As the demon called forth by the seal, only able to be seen by the 3rd, readies itself, the 3rd is forced to endure the other 2 Hokage's blows, weakening his old body even more. As soon as the seal is ready for use, the 3rd's shadow clones each grab a hold of a Hokage and the demon plunges its hands into each. Momentarily regaining their senses, the Hokages all apologize to each other, the 1st and 2nd for the trouble they've caused the 3rd, and the 3rd for the fate he's sentenced them to. The demon pulls the souls of the 1st and 2nd from their bodies and seals them within the bodies of the 3rd's shadow clones, causing the clones to disappear into a puff of smoke. No longer inhabited, the 1st and 2nd's bodies dissolve, revealing themselves to in actuality be the bodies of Zaku Abumi and Kintsuchi. 2 Genin Orochimaru had entered into the Chunin exams and had now sacrificed for his means. Angered by Orochimaru's careless use of his subordinates, the 3rd grabs Enma and exchanges blows with Orochimaru and his Kusanagi sword. Throwing the Kusanagi and Enma aside, the 3rd grabs onto Orochimaru and the demon of the seal plunges its hand into Orochimaru. Sensing that his soul is being removed from his body, Orochimaru calls his Kusanagi to him, stabbing the third in the back. This turn of events forces the third to halt the removal of Orochimaru's soul, the latter of which questions why he didn't block the attack. The third explains that in exchange for using the sealing technique, the user is sentenced to death, as was demonstrated by its use by the 4th Hokage on the demon fox years ago. Due to the large amount of his soul that has been removed, Orochimaru is now able to see the demon of the seal, just in time to witness the consumption of the Hokage souls affected by it. Once eaten by the demon, the souls are trapped in its belly, forced to spend eternity in a constant battle of hate with one another. This revelation brings fear to Orochimaru's eyes, who tries to ensure the third dies before he can be given that same fate. As the Hokage battle goes on, the Jonin in the audience that had managed to repel Kabuto's genjutsu begin to confront the invading ninja, determined to protect the audience from stray attacks. Meanwhile, Baki informs Kankuro and Temari to take Gaara elsewhere, his injury making him useless for the planned invasion. Sasuke, confused about what's going on, follows the three, wanting to finish his fight. Kakashi watches Sasuke go off, unable to leave his current duty of protection. He does, however, notice that Sakura has managed to shake off the genjutsu, and tells her to wake Naruto and Shikamaru so they can follow Sasuke. She does so, though she finds that Shikamaru was also unaffected by the genjutsu, choosing to pretend like he had been so he could avoid being drawn into battle. To help in their pursuit of Sasuke, Kakashi summons Pakun to guide them, and the four set off. As the group leaves the stadium and enters the forest, Pakun senses that they're being followed by 9 Oto ninja. To act as a distraction and buy the others some time, Shikamaru stays behind to slow down the ninja. After altering his surroundings to give the impression that the group went in a different direction, Shikamaru lies in wait for the following invaders. Once they catch up and take notice of the apparent change in course, Shikamaru traps the group with his shadow imitation technique. Shikamaru notices, however, that he's only managed to catch 8 of the 9, indicating one ninja had been following behind to protect the others. Running low on chakra, and therefore running out of time that he can restrain the ninja with, Shikamaru throws shuriken at the group so he can find the location of the 9th. The shuriken are all stopped by the free ninja's needles, and Shikamaru tries to extend his shadow to that ninja's location, though he doesn't have enough shadow to work with. After keeping the 8 at bay a while longer, Shikamaru's chakra runs out and he's forced to release the group. Freed, the group encourages the 9th ninja to be the one to kill their captive, and in response a ninja appears behind Shikamaru. The ninja, however, catches everyone by surprise as it's revealed to be Asuma Saratobi with the 9th ninja in tow. In a flash, Asuma takes out the other 8 and tells Shikamaru to take a rest. Sasuke eventually manages to catch up to Gaara, Kankuro, and Temari. As Kankuro prepares to fight Sasuke in hopes of giving Temari and Gaara time to escape, Shino Aburami arrives to fight Kankuro in Sasuke's stead, wanting to have the fight he'd been denied during the finals. As Sasuke goes off to continue his pursuit of Gaara, Kankuro unveils his puppet, Karasu, and Shino readies his bugs. Kankuro uses Karasu's new arsenal of weapons to try and poison Shino, though Shino's bugs allow him to make a number of otherwise impossible evasions. As Kankuro continues to direct Karasu, Shino is able to navigate his bugs in secret to Kankuro's location, which consume his chakra and prevent him from moving. With Kankuro no longer able to move, Shino collapses, Karasu's one successful strike finally taking effect. As Kankuro and Shino's fight draws to a close, Sasuke again manages to catch up to Gaara, who, having sensed Sasuke's arrival, swipes Temari out of the way. As Gaara's contemplations of killing Sasuke increase, his transformation begins with his sand forming a new monstrous arm. With the arm, Gaara is given increased speed and strength, forcing Sasuke to begin his assault with another Chidori, a technique he's only capable of using twice a day. As Gaara charges at Sasuke, Sasuke unleashes his jutsu, slicing Gaara's arm in two. Though the technique is successful in injuring Gaara, it does nothing but increase his desire to fight, causing him to spout a tail of the same nature as the arm. As Gaara charges again, his speed once again increased, Sasuke is forced to use Chidori a third time, pushing him to his limits and forcing him to activate the curse seal given to him by Orochimaru. Though Sasuke's attack once again slices Gaara's arm in two, Sasuke's use of the curse mark drains his remaining energy and causes him to collapse. As Gaara goes for the finishing blow, Naruto arrives and kicks Gaara away. As Sakura and Pakun start to tend to Sasuke, Naruto attempts to figure out who Gaara is, his face now partially transformed as well. Upon learning that the beast is Gaara and remembering Gaara's vow to kill people to prove his existence, Naruto yells to the others to run away. Gaara, however, has already made his move and charges at the downed Sasuke. Sakura, her willingness to help others strengthen during the Chunin exams, shields Sasuke and prepares to attack Gaara if necessary. Due to the look in Sakura's eyes, Gaara is unable to bring himself to harm her, instead using his arm to pin her to a nearby tree. To save Sakura, Naruto charges at Gaara, though only manages to get himself swatted aside. To help him in his battle, Naruto attempts to summon Gamabunta but is only able to summon Gamakichi, a considerably smaller toad that does nothing but taunt Naruto. Unimpressed by Naruto's attempt at a summon, Gaara gives the battle a stipulation. Using his sand to keep Sakura pinned to the tree, Gaara causes the sand to slowly form a tighter hold on her, forcing Naruto to defeat him before Sakura suffocates. With the new incentive for battle made, Gaara hurls Sand Shuriken at Naruto, who grabs Gamakichi to shield him from the attack. This onslaught allows Gaara another chance to further his transformation, now having two beastly arms and his face being that of his final transformation. His attacks ineffective against this new form, Naruto decides that to save Sakura and Sasuke, he will battle with his life and pulls out all the stops. After creating a number of shadow clones, Naruto uses the clones to launch himself at Gaara. Though Gaara swats him aside once again, Naruto manages to place an explosive kunai under Gaara's tail, something that just so happens to be Gaara's weak spot. Before Naruto can collide with the surrounding trees, Sasuke catches him and tells him to save Sakura and run. Naruto, remembering the time Sasuke risked his life to save him, says that he will be the one to fight Gaara since the two are so alike. Repeating his promise to protect those precious to him, Naruto taps into the Demon Fox's chakra, enabling him to create 1,999 shadow clones. With his army of clones, Naruto uses his Uzumaki Naruto 2000 combo, sending wave after wave of attacks at Gaara and pushing Gaara to his limits of endurable damage. Not wanting to lose, Gaara completes his transformation, destroying all of Naruto's shadow clones and transforming into a tanuki that stands many times higher than the tallest tree. Determined to make Naruto pay for forcing him into his final form, Gaara begins to encase Naruto in his sand-binding coffin. Before the compacting effects of the technique can begin, Naruto again taps into the power of the Demon Fox, and again attempts the summoning. Finally successful, Gaara's coffin expands and bursts, with Naruto riding upon Gamabunta's head ready for battle. Gamabunta, having yet to find Naruto worthy of commanding him, is reluctant to fight. Gamakichi, revealed to be Gamabunta's son, encourages the giant toad to accept Naruto due to Naruto's earlier protection of him from Gaara. Upon learning that Naruto helped his son and that Gaara had picked on a member of the Gama family, Gamabunta decides to help Naruto and unsheathes his equally giant sword. Charging at Gaara, Gamabunta puts all of his might into his sword swing, though this is just barely successful at cutting off Gaara's arm. Impressed with Naruto's display of abilities, Gaara emerges from the Sand Tanuki's forehead and puts himself to sleep, awakening the personality of the one-tailed Shukaku sealed within Gaara. Now freed from the restraints imposed upon it by Gaara's consciousness, Shukaku is able to use more of its devastating abilities, each of which Gamabunta is unable to counter completely. Because toads lack natural weapons such as fangs or claws, Gamabunta asks Naruto to help him transform into something more capable of close combat. Choosing the first animal that comes to mind, Naruto transforms Gamabunta into a giant fox, allowing the latter to bite and tear at Shukaku. With Gamabunta locked in combat with Shukaku, Naruto leaps from his head to that of Shukaku, punching Gaara and waking him up, forcing Shukaku back into submission. With Gaara awake again, his first priority becomes protecting himself from Naruto. As Gaara's sand tries to again encase Naruto, a now untransformed Gamabunta uses his tongue to shield Naruto. Naruto, determined to defeat Gaara and save Sakura, who's running out of time, taps into the Demon Fox's power for one more attack. With chakra radiating from him, Naruto breaks free of Gaara's shackles and charges at him, but Gaara manages to use his sand to restrain Naruto's hands and legs. Using the only weapon he has left, Naruto puts all of his energy into a headbutt. Naruto's last desperate attack being right on the mark, Gaara's strength is sapped and the giant tanuki disintegrates. Gamabunta, worn out by the battle, returns home with Gamakichi, though not before complimenting Naruto's outstanding fighting abilities. As the two genin fall through the air, each manages to land on neighboring treetops and each prepares for what will be their last exchange of blows. Once each is ready, the two leap at one another, their destinies about to be decided. Back at the stadium, the Jonin of Konoha observe their field of victory, the bodies of Oto and Suna ninja strewn across the arena. The battle between the third Hokage and Orochimaru has, over the past hour, not changed, as each is still locked in place, the Kusanagi in the third's back and the soul partially removed from Orochimaru's body. The third, wise as he is, has used this time to come to the conclusion that he no longer has the strength needed to completely remove Orochimaru's soul, and decides instead to make this Orochimaru's last battle. Having the Demon of the Seal turn its attention to Orochimaru's arms, the third prepares to complete the only seal he can now make. Hoping to break the third's will to go on, Orochimaru reminds his former master of the casualties Konoha has suffered at the hands of his invasion, saying that Konoha will crumble. Disheartened that Orochimaru would so quickly forget the abilities of Konoha's ninja, the third reminds his former student of the Konoha ninja's desire to protect their village. All throughout the village, battles between Konoha's elite and the invading forces rage on, and despite the overwhelming forces united against them, the fighting few of the village utterly defeat the enemy. Determined to prove his point and finally prove to Orochimaru that power does not lie within knowledge of techniques, the third seals Orochimaru's arms, taking away his ability forevermore of using jutsu. As Orochimaru's arms fall useless to his sides, the third bids his final farewell, in unison with Naruto's defeat of Gaara. Naruto and Gaara fall to the earth, and the third Hokage falls over dead with a grin on his face. Enraged that even in death the old man could manage to smile, Orochimaru calls for assistance, and Enma, now free, honors his old friend by removing the blade from his back before disappearing. As Orochimaru's subordinates gather their leader and flee, the Jonin in the stadium confront the only two remaining invaders. With Kakashi's encouragement, Kabuto removes his Anbu disguise and whispers to Baki that they should retreat. As the two disappear, the other battles conclude. Temari picks up a defeated Kankuro, Sakura is freed from Gaara's sand, and Naruto approaches a defeated Gaara. Fearing that Naruto will do him more harm, Gaara beckons him to stay away. Upon getting close enough, instead of harming Gaara, Naruto displays pity, stating that he too knows the pain of being alone. Naruto, however, was able to find people to nurture his pain and bring him hope, and states that if Gaara ever again tries to hurt those people that have brought him happiness, he will again be forced to take action. Gaara, in disbelief, realizes that Naruto's strength comes not from his desire to help himself, but to help those that are dear to him, which begins to change Gaara's outlook on life. Sasuke gathers up Naruto, extremely impressed and jealous of Naruto's display of strength. Likewise, Temari and Kankuro retrieve a beaten Gaara who, for the first time ever, apologizes to them. As the last of the invading Oto and Sunanin flee the village, the elite of Konoha gather upon the resting spot of their Hokage's body. During the Hokage's funeral a few days later, the ninja of Konoha vow to remember his sacrifice forever. Search for Tsunade. After their failed invasion of Konoha, the ninja of Suna look for their now missing fourth Kazekage. After finding the Kazekage's body and the bodies of his assistants in the neighboring desert, the people of Suna realize that Orochimaru, the man who originally proposed the invasion of the village, killed and impersonated the Kazekage to give the impression of support for the invasion. This revelation, coupled with Suna's devastating losses at the hands of Konoha's ninja, forces the village to surrender unconditionally, which Konoha accepts. Konoha, though having managed to repel the invading forces, was also heavily affected by the invasion as well, losing much of its ninja force and its third Hokage. Because the village is now without a leader, the village elders approach Jiraiya, one of the third Hokage's former pupils, and ask him to become the fifth Hokage. Jiraiya declines the offer, saying that another of the third's pupils would be better suited for the job, Tsunade. Because Tsunade's whereabouts are unknown, Jiraiya offers to go and find her, with the stipulation that he be allowed to bring Naruto Uzumaki. The elders agree, and after Jiraiya's promise of teaching him a new jutsu, so does Naruto, and the two head out to find Tsunade. Meanwhile, two outsiders have entered the village and have caught the attentions of Asuma Sarutobi and Kurenai Yuhi. Once confronted about their presence in Konoha, the two reveal themselves to be Kisame Hoshigaki, a renegade ninja from Kiri, and Itachi Uchiha, the man who single-handedly murdered the entire Uchiha clan. Because the two are wanted criminals, Asuma and Kurenai tried to apprehend them through battle, but quickly found themselves outclassed. Just as the two Konoha Jonin are about to be defeated, Kakashi Hatake arrives to save them both, his Sharingan making it easier for him to battle Kisame, so Itachi asks Kisame to step down and let him personally take on Kakashi. Despite Kakashi's own formidable abilities and advanced proficiency with the Sharingan, Itachi quickly proves to be the superior ninja, displaying his far greater speed and superior Sharingan abilities, and Kakashi's only barely able to block his attacks. Realizing that Itachi is only using a fraction of his abilities, although he still praises Kakashi for being skilled with the Sharingan despite not being of Uchiha blood, the moment Itachi activates the Mangekyo Sharingan, Kakashi immediately instructs Asuma and Kurenai to close their eyes so as to avoid falling prey to Itachi's ultimate technique. Because Kakashi has a Sharingan, he believes he'll be able to withstand Itachi's jutsu, only to be swiftly proven wrong as Itachi's Tsukiyomi quickly overpowered Kakashi's Sharingan and rendered him helpless. With the little strength he has, Kakashi asks why the two have come to Konoha, to which Itachi replies that they're after the fourth Hokage's legacy, Naruto Uzumaki. Remembering what Jiraiya had told him earlier, Kakashi recognizes this reason as their organization, the Akatsuki's, goal to gain the power of the nine-tailed demon fox sealed within Naruto. Because of Kakashi's knowledge of their organization and its motives, Itachi instructs Kisame to kill Kakashi, Asuma, and Kurenai. Before Kisame can land a fatal blow, however, Might Guy appears and repels Kisame. With Guy's arrival, Kakashi collapses, exhausted from Itachi's previous attack. Itachi, recognizing Guy as a threat, as well as the fact that reinforcements are on their way, leaves with Kisame, wanting to avoid starting a war. Taking Kakashi away to rest, Guy, Asuma, and Kurenai decide that it would be best if Sasuke Uchiha, Itachi's brother, didn't know Itachi had returned. When Sasuke arrives to find out what put Kakashi into the state that he's in, the truth of Itachi's return and his search for Naruto slips out when Aoba accidentally spills the truth. Sasuke, with his everlasting desire to kill his brother due to the latter's murder of their entire family and also wanting to protect Naruto, runs off in search of Naruto. Meanwhile, Jiraiya and Naruto arrive at a nearby town's hotel where they rest up for the night. Jiraiya, being a pervert through and through, notices an attractive woman that's showing interest in him. So he can become acquainted with this woman, Jiraiya sends Naruto up to their room. As Naruto sits on his bed cursing Jiraiya, someone knocks on the door. Thinking that it's an already rejected Jiraiya, Naruto opens the door, finding instead Kisame and Itachi. Perplexed by Itachi's Sharingan and the two's knowledge of the demon fox within him, Naruto leaves the safety of the room to find out what's going on. As Kisame readies his sword to cut off Naruto's leg, therefore making him easier to carry, Sasuke arrives, vowing to kill Itachi. To act on his promise, Sasuke prepares his Chidori and then lunges at Itachi. Before Sasuke can land a blow, Itachi grabs and crushes his arm, sending the attack into a nearby wall. To help Sasuke, Naruto taps into the demon fox's chakra, ready to summon a toad to help him in battle. Kisame's sword, however, absorbs Naruto's chakra, preventing him from using any jutsu. As Kisame again prepares to cut off Naruto's leg, a toad appears to block the attack, with Jiraiya appearing behind Naruto. Scolding Itachi and Kisame for not doing proper research on him, Jiraiya explains that he's better at getting women than they are at getting him, though Naruto dismisses that as a bad excuse for his pervertedness. Realizing that Itachi put the girl under a genjutsu to draw him away, Jiraiya learns for certain that the two really are after Naruto. As Jiraiya proclaims that he will kill the two, Sasuke rises, repeating that he'll be the one to kill Itachi. Having no interest in their brotherly quarrel, Itachi kicks Sasuke aside and proceeds to beat him into submission. Once Sasuke is unable to fight back, astounded by how much he's still outclassed by his older brother, Itachi uses Tsukiyomi to show Sasuke the murder of their parents, while also mocking him for lacking the hate needed to be strong enough. As Naruto goes to help Sasuke and Kisame goes to stop Naruto, Jiraiya encases the area in a layer of a sticky substance, preventing anyone from moving. Knowing they cannot win, Itachi and Kisame flee, though not before Jiraiya attempts to further ensnare them with his jutsu. Surprised that they are successful in escaping, Jiraiya finds that a black flame was used to destroy his normally impenetrable technique. With Itachi and Kisame gone, Naruto checks up on Sasuke, whose mind has been broken by his own brother. At that moment, Guy arrives and kicks Jiraiya in the face, having mistaken him for an enemy. After Guy apologizes, he informs Jiraiya that Kakashi is in the same state as Sasuke and that nothing can be done to help him recover. As Guy takes Sasuke back to Konoha to rest, Jiraiya realizes that only Tsunade can help Kakashi and Sasuke, strengthening his resolve to find her. Because the Akatsuki will henceforth be after Naruto, Jiraiya decides to start training Naruto the technique that is supposedly stronger than Sasuke's Chidori, the Rasengan, the jutsu that took the 4th Hokage 3 years to master. As the pair goes from place to place in search of Tsunade, Naruto rapidly progresses through the Rasengan's learning steps, coming up with a number of shortcuts along the way. Just as Naruto gets to the final stages of learning the jutsu, Jiraiya learns of Tsunade's location and the two set out to meet her. Meanwhile, Orochimaru is suffering from his last encounter with the 3rd Hokage, his arms unable to perform jutsu and constantly bringing him pain at the same time. Knowing that his assistant, Kabuto Yakashi's medicine will do nothing to help him, Orochimaru concludes that the only person who can restore his arms is Tsunade. Knowing where Tsunade is currently located, he and Kabuto go out to find her. Elsewhere, Tsunade, an avid and very unlucky gambler, hits a winning streak, indicating to her that something very bad is about to happen, and as such, she tries to flee the city. Her assistant, Shizune, asks Tsunade if they can go and see the local landmarks first, to which Tsunade reluctantly agrees. As Shizune admires an ancient castle, with Tsunade repeatedly asking her to hurry up, the castle collapses, and from the rubble emerges Orochimaru and Kabuto riding a giant snake. Unhappy to see her old teammate, Tsunade refuses to heal Orochimaru, deducing what his ailment is from his appearance alone. After Kabuto states that only Tsunade can help him, Tsunade inquires how he got the injury, recognizing it as being far from an average wound. Nonchalantly, Orochimaru explains that it was nothing more than his own carelessness when he was killing the 3rd Hokage, the revelation of which shocks Shizune and Tsunade. Noticing the expression on the two's faces, Orochimaru comments that all people die and reminds Tsunade of her 2 deceased loved ones. This observation enrages Shizune, who attempts to strike Orochimaru, though Kabuto blocks the attack. After calming Shizune down and casually scolding Orochimaru for what he said, Tsunade punches the wall next to her, reducing it to gravel, and vows to kill him if he ever says it again. After repeating her refusal to help Orochimaru, Tsunade prepares to fight them in the event that they won't leave. Just as she's about to attack, Orochimaru offers to revive her dead brother and lover if she helps him, stopping Tsunade before she can act. Finally considering the offer, Tsunade asks what Orochimaru will do if his arms are healed, to which he replies that he will destroy Konoha. Elsewhere, Jiraiya and Naruto have arrived in the city, and the two visit Tsunade's last known location. When they hear reports of a giant snake destroying a castle, Jiraiya recognizes this as one of Orochimaru's acts and as such rushes there. Shizune, meanwhile, is infuriated by Orochimaru's proposal of destroying Konoha and tries to persuade Tsunade in helping her kill the weakened Orochimaru. Although Tsunade refuses, Orochimaru sheds some of his own blood to make sure she keeps her word, knowing that Tsunade suffers from a fear of blood. With Tsunade forced into submission by the sight of his blood, Orochimaru allows her a week to consider his offer, and he and Kabuto disappear. When Jiraiya and Naruto arrive at the scene, Tsunade and Shizune have already left. Deciding to give up the search for the day, Jiraiya takes Naruto to a local bar for dinner where he surprisingly finds Tsunade and Shizune already having theirs. As Naruto eats, Jiraiya asks Tsunade what Orochimaru wanted from her, to which she replies nothing, quickly changing the subject to what Jiraiya wants from her. As he tells her that Konoha wants her to be the next Hokage, Naruto begins to choke on his food with surprise, and Tsunade and Shizune use this as confirmation that Orochimaru really has killed the third. Tsunade declines the position, saying that only a fool would become Hokage, and goes on to ridicule past Hokage. Tsunade's words anger Naruto, spurring him into attempting to strike her, though Jiraiya holds him back. Impressed that Naruto was willing to challenge her, Tsunade offers to fight him, going so far as to say she'll only use a finger. After the two step outside, Naruto charges at Tsunade with a kunai in hand, though Tsunade is able to take it from him, use it to remove his forehead protector, and launch him backwards with the promised single finger. Tsunade, expecting Naruto to pass out from her attack, asks why being Hokage is such a sensitive subject for Naruto, to which he replies that becoming Hokage is his dream. As he says so, Tsunade sees in Naruto her dead brother and lover, both of whom had wanted to be Hokage, and both of whom looked similar to Naruto. While Tsunade is momentarily off balance, Naruto uses the opportunity to use his still-to-be-mastered Rasengan on Tsunade. Recognizing the technique and the danger it imposes, Tsunade slams her finger to the ground, creating a large fissure that Naruto falls into, forcing the Rasengan into the ground. Noticing that Naruto's version of the jutsu is dramatically weaker than what it is capable of, Tsunade proposes a bet. If Naruto can master the Rasengan in a week, she'll give him her grandfather, the first Hokage's necklace, something she claims could buy 3 mountains. If he can't, she gets all the money in his wallet. Naruto accepts the offer and he goes off to the hotel with Shizune while Tsunade and Jiraiya chat over drinks. During the discussion, Jiraiya reveals that he's aware that Tsunade has some sort of deal with Orochimaru, though he doesn't know what it is. He goes on to say, however, that if Tsunade helps Orochimaru with whatever it is that he wants, that he will kill her as a traitor of Konoha. Looking to change the subject, Tsunade asks why Jiraiya brought Naruto with him, to which he replies that Naruto looks remarkably similar to Tsunade's dead brother Nawaki. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Shizune explains to Naruto the history of Tsunade's necklace and how Tsunade had given it to each her brother and her lover, Dan, in the hopes that it would help them achieve their goals of becoming Hokage. Soon after receiving the necklace though, each of them died a bloody death, giving Tsunade her fear of blood and leading many to believe that the necklace was cursed. After hearing the story, Naruto leaves to finish his training, determined to prove that when he wins the necklace, he really will become Hokage. For the next week, Naruto trains, and each day he puts larger and larger dents into the trees he's training with, indicating that his Rasengan is gaining more power. All the while, Tsunade watches him in the background, remembering her dead loved ones and contemplating the offer Orochimaru made her. On the final day, Naruto doesn't return home at his usual time, and Shizune goes to see what happened to him. After finding a tree broken in two and Naruto passed out on the ground, Shizune takes him home to rest. At the same time, Jiraiya and Tsunade meet again for drinks to discuss Naruto's progress. While Jiraiya isn't looking, Tsunade slips a powder into his drink, and after drinking it, he passes out. Tsunade returns to the hotel to see if Naruto has perfected the jutsu, but only finds him in bed, causing her to realize what a ridiculous bet it was that she's made. Shizune, meanwhile, pleads for Tsunade not to go through with Orochimaru's deal, willing to kill herself in order to stop Tsunade. Tsunade knocks Shizune unconscious and leaves to meet Orochimaru. As Orochimaru and Kabuto head towards the meeting place, Orochimaru comments that it may be easier to persuade Tsunade to heal his arms if Shizune weren't around, and so Kabuto heads off to kill her. Naruto, meanwhile, wakes Shizune up after having found her on the floor. Realizing what happened, Shizune rushes to the window to go after Tsunade, but a weakened Jiraiya stops her before she can leave. Cursing Tsunade for drugging his drink, Jiraiya explains that the drug makes it difficult for him to move, and that he can't control his chakra very well. Kabuto watches the conversation, and knowing that he can't take on Shizune, Jiraiya, and to his surprise, Naruto by himself, leaves to report to Orochimaru. Jiraiya notices Kabuto's departure and asks what deal Tsunade had made with Orochimaru. Along the way to the meeting spot, Shizune explains the offer, and Jiraiya realizes he may really need to kill Tsunade. Tsunade and Orochimaru, meanwhile, meet at the site of their last conversation, and Tsunade agrees to heal Orochimaru's arms if he promises to leave Konoha alone. Orochimaru agrees to the stipulation, and Tsunade approaches him, preparing her healing jutsu. Before she can make contact with Orochimaru, Kabuto appears and throws a kunai between them, forcing the two to separate. Orochimaru, realizing what Kabuto has done, asks why after coming so far, Tsunade was betraying him. Kabuto notes that because both he and Tsunade are medical nin, he could notice the subtle amounts of killing intent within her jutsu. Orochimaru laments Tsunade's decision, even saying that he really had intended to stay away from Konoha. Tsunade dismisses this as a lie, yet says that she had been willing to believe it if it meant that she could see her loved ones again. Because of Naruto, however, the dreams of Nawaki and Dawn returned to her, and thus she couldn't bring herself to turn a blind eye to Orochimaru's goals of effectively destroying the hopes that they had had. With that, Tsunade attempts to attack Orochimaru, though because of his timely dodge, her attack misses, creating a large crater where he had been. As Orochimaru prepares to fight Tsunade, he comments that he had never battled her before, although Kabuto quickly questions this observation since he will actually be the one who will fight her. After Kabuto informs Orochimaru of Jiraiya's presence, they lead Tsunade away, not wanting to fight in the city in case Jiraiya shows up. After retreating to an empty field, Kabuto and Tsunade begin their fight. Because Kabuto isn't very good at taijutsu, Tsunade's specialty, he resorts to using his mystical palm technique to give his attacks an extra boost in strength. Although Tsunade is initially able to avoid many of his attacks, her old age causes her to tire quickly, allowing Kabuto to catch her off guard and strike. Because of the nature of his mystical palm, Kabuto is able to sever some of Tsunade's muscles upon contact, preventing her from moving. Using this to his advantage, Kabuto punches her in the chest, which also allows her to sever some of her respiratory muscles, making it difficult to breathe. Thinking this should be enough to force Tsunade into submission, Kabuto begins to gloat at his success. Tsunade, her large breasts having weakened Kabuto's attack, uses his cockiness to her advantage by striking him in the neck, forcing him to the ground. As he attempts to get up, Kabuto discovers that Tsunade's attack disrupted the electric currents of his nervous system, causing his hands to move when he tries to stand up. With Kabuto unable to move, Tsunade heals her injuries. As she does so, Kabuto begins to compensate for Tsunade's last attack, learning what actions lead to what outcomes. After regaining the ability to move 80% of his body, Kabuto gets up, surprising Tsunade due to his rapid ability to adapt. Just as Kabuto is about to attack a steel healing Tsunade, Naruto, Jiraiya, and Shizune appear before him, blocking the way. Tsunade is unappreciative of the group's arrival and pushes Jiraiya to the ground so she can charge at Kabuto. Before she can commence an attack on Kabuto, however, he slits his wrists, covering Tsunade with his blood and leaving her to become paralyzed with fear. With Tsunade Sasuke Uchiha, a person he claims is far more talented than Naruto. Enraged by Kabuto's treachery, Naruto creates a large number of shadow clones to help him attack Kabuto from the side of his injured hand. As Naruto closes in, however, Kabuto uses the blood seeping from his wrist to blind the Narutos, allowing him to easily defeat them all. Shizune, using Kabuto's distraction to her advantage, launches a poisonous needle at Kabuto, though Kabuto is able to block it in time by having the needle deflect off his forehead protector. Returning to Orochimaru's side, Kabuto takes a pill to stop his bleeding. As he does so, Jiraiya hands out assignments. He will fight Orochimaru, Shizune will fight Kabuto, and Naruto will protect Tsunade while she recovers. With that, Jiraiya and Kabuto, with Orochimaru's assistance, perform the summoning technique, allowing Kabuto to summon 2 giant snakes, while Jiraiya, still in his drugged condition, can only manage to summon Gamakichi. As Orochimaru ridicules Jiraiya for failing to summon anything formidable, his attention is brought to Naruto, who is giving his own attempt at a summon. Just as Orochimaru considers whether he should have killed Naruto when they first met due to how formidable the power of the demon fox could be, Naruto summons Gamatatsu, causing Orochimaru's worries to vanish. Orochimaru and Kabuto charge at their respective opponents, each riding upon a different snake. Jiraiya uses his swamp of the underworld on Orochimaru, though in his drugged state he's only able to submerge the snake in a shallow swamp. No longer able to use the snake, Orochimaru charges at Jiraiya, lengthening his neck so he can get close enough to bite the other's neck. In response, Jiraiya creates a defense by extending the hair on his head and turning it into spikes, creating a stalemate between the two. Shizune meanwhile battles with Kabuto, but Kabuto is able to evade her attacks and burrow beneath her, allowing him to sever the muscles in her ankles and causing her to collapse. At the same time, Naruto deals with Kabuto's snake, escaping from its mouth only briefly enough for it to fall upon his leg, pinning him in place. As Tsunade regains her senses, she finds Shizune and Naruto lying on the ground, defeated. Remembering the deaths of Nawaki and Dawn, she attempts to defend herself against the approaching Kabuto, though he easily starts to beat her into submission. Just as he's about to land a finishing blow, Naruto appears in front of Tsunade, blocking Kabuto's punch with his forehead protector. Surprised by Naruto's sudden intervention, Kabuto is left momentarily stunned. Using this to his advantage, Naruto tries to use the Rasengan on Kabuto, but because of the slow sweeping motion that Naruto puts into the attack, Kabuto is able to easily avoid it. As Naruto lays on the ground due to his lack of speed, Kabuto taunts him by detailing how talentless he is and how hopeless his dreams are. As he does so, Tsunade sees these insults as applying to Nawaki and Dawn and remembers her earlier words of similar meaning to Naruto. As Naruto rebuts these claims, he reminds Tsunade of the bet they had, and how she will need to give him her necklace, and then proceeds to create a shadow clone. As Kabuto charges towards Naruto with a kunai in tow, Tsunade begs Naruto to run so he can accomplish his dreams, but Naruto stands his ground. In doing so, Naruto allows Kabuto to attack him, though he blocks the worst of it by catching the kunai with his hand. As Naruto grabs hold of Kabuto's hand, he begins to create a Rasengan in his free hand and uses the shadow clone for assistance in the creation. Once completed, Naruto forces the sphere into Kabuto's stomach, the latter unable to avoid it. With only enough time to clutch Naruto's chest, Kabuto is hurled back by the attack and thrown into a rock. As the dust settles, Kabuto emerges with a deep wound in his gut, though it immediately begins to heal as a result of the chakra he gathered to his abdomen just before the attack. Although the exterior damage is almost completely healed, Kabuto collapses from the internal injuries caused by Naruto's attack, his chakra reserves too low to fully heal. Kabuto's last attempt at defeating Naruto, however, proves to be effective as Naruto passes out. As Tsunade rushes to his side to investigate, she finds that Kabuto weakened Naruto's heart muscles, giving him an erratic heartbeat. Tsunade desperately tries to heal him in an attempt to not only save Naruto, but also in an attempt to save Nawaki and Dan's dream. As she does so, the demon fox within Naruto notices the fading life force of its host and contributes its power in an attempt to save Naruto and in turn itself. As Tsunade continues her healing effort, a tired Naruto comes to and grabs her necklace, claiming it as his. After he slips into a tired sleep, Tsunade puts her necklace around his neck, hoping that just once more its wearer will someday become Hokage. Orochimaru, just having witnessed Naruto's potential, worries about what may happen if Naruto ever falls into the hands of the Akatsuki, and decides to kill Naruto in his weakened state. After throwing Jiraiya on the ground, Orochimaru lunges at Naruto with his Kusanagi sword sticking out of his mouth. Tsunade, realizing Orochimaru's intended target, leaps in front of Naruto as a human shield, allowing the sword to impale her through the heart. As Orochimaru tells Tsunade that he hadn't intended to kill her, Tsunade replies that she won't let anything happen to Naruto. After Orochimaru removes his sword from the blood-trembling Tsunade, he questions why she would save Naruto, to which she replies that she is protecting Konoha by protecting Naruto, the future Hokage. As Orochimaru ridicules the title for its holder's willingness to sacrifice their lives for the prosperity of the village, Tsunade states that she too will sacrifice her life for the same reason. Disappointed that Tsunade would waste her life in such a way, Orochimaru slashes her across the chest and she falls to the ground. Believing Tsunade at the very least to be out of the fight, Orochimaru makes for a finishing blow on Naruto, though Tsunade blocks it again. Upon falling to the ground in fatigue, Tsunade's trembling stops, her fear of blood finally overcome. As she rises, Tsunade throws Orochimaru back, explaining that her commitment to protecting Naruto is because she is henceforth the 5th Hokage. As her first order of business, Tsunade activates the seal on her forehead to completely regenerate the wounds induced by Orochimaru. Realizing that Tsunade is now back in top shape, Orochimaru retreats to Kabuto for assistance. In unison, Orochimaru, Tsunade, and Jiraiya use the summoning technique, summoning Manda, Katsuyu, and Gamabunta respectively. As Gamabunta expresses excitement in finally getting the chance to kill Manda, Manda reprimands Orochimaru for not having any human sacrifices ready. After Jiraiya and Tsunade denounce Orochimaru as their comrade and give him promises of death, the final battle begins. Katsuyu starts the fight by spitting some of her acid at Manda, the latter of which quickly evades. Using Katsuyu's vulnerability between attacks to his advantage, Manda wraps himself around Katsuyu and prepares to bite the giant slug. However, before he can do so, Gamabunta forces his sword between Manda's jaws, saving Katsuyu from the snake bite. Still having Katsuyu in his clutches, Manda tightens his hold in an attempt to suffocate her, but she breaks apart into a number of smaller slugs in order to escape. As she regenerates, Manda throws Gamabunta back, allowing the Toad to, with the help of Jiraiya, engulf Manda in an enormous cloud of fire. When the smoke clears, Manda's skin is the only thing that can be found, the real Manda in the process of burrowing beneath Gamabunta. Although Gamabunta is able to catch Manda's tail, Manda is able to get behind the giant toad and prepares to bite it. Before he can do so, however, Tsunade appears with Gamabunta's sword in tow and forces it through Manda's mouth to keep it shut. Orochimaru, hoping to even the playing field, extends his tongue towards Tsunade in an attempt to break her neck, but Tsunade uses her tongue to her advantage by using it to bring Orochimaru to her. After connecting her fist with Orochimaru's jaw, Tsunade allows the defeated Orochimaru to crash to the ground. Manda, disgusted with Orochimaru for losing, promises that if he could open his mouth he'd eat Orochimaru and disappears after promising to do so the next time they meet. As Manda departs, Orochimaru frees his tongue from Tsunade's grasp and returns to Kabuto's side, where he says that there is still one way to get his arms back, the mask covering the face of the body he had stolen peeling away. With a promise to destroy Konoha, Orochimaru disappears with Kabuto. After returning to the city and Naruto's recovery, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Shizune, and Naruto have lunch at the same bar that they met at only a week earlier. After learning that Tsunade has taken the title of 5th Hokage, Naruto begins to find her inadequate for the position, listing all of the different ways that the 3rd Hokage was better than her. Angered by his words, Tsunade tells Naruto to step outside so they can fight, where Tsunade once again says she'll only need one finger. As Naruto charges at her, she once again removes his forehead protector and prepares to strike him with the one finger. Fearing the outcome of the strike, Naruto closes his eyes. To his surprise, however, Tsunade kisses him on the forehead rather than hitting him, telling him to become a good man. After Naruto agrees, the group heads back to Konoha. Upon their return, Naruto heard that the village of Konoha must continue their missions as normal. Irika explained to Naruto, over a bowl of ramen of course, that they must not show other villages that they were currently weak, so they must do as many missions as they had done before Orochimaru's invasion, even though their strength had been cut in half. Tsunade was well known as a great medical ninja, and she healed Sasuke and Kakashi of their ailments received during the fight with Itachi. She visited Lee, who was badly injured during his fight with Gaara in the Chunin exam preliminary round after persistent nagging from many characters, and told him that he should give up on being a ninja. There were fragments of bone in his spine, and the one operation that could be done, and could only be done by her, had a 50% chance of either curing or killing him. In the anime, Konohamaru, the grandson of the 3rd Hokage, became upset at the thought of a new Hokage, especially a woman, and showed his anger by lashing out at his friends, including Naruto, and locking himself in Tsunade's new office. While this took place, Tsunade was introduced to the large amount of work required of a Hokage and was reluctant at first, but found herself oddly interested in Lee's case. Konohamaru's friends, Moegi and Udon, along with Naruto, tried to find ways to get Konohamaru out, as he had set a great deal of obstacles leading to Tsunade's new office. Tsunade, who was looking for a book, managed to successfully get in, destroying all of Konohamaru's obstacles with her mighty strength. Naruto and Konohamaru were walking down the street when they overheard Shizune talking to Tsunade. They heard the 5th Hokage state her concern and her motivation to help Lee. This convinced Konohamaru that Tsunade really was a good replacement for his grandfather. Just minutes before Tsunade was inaugurated as the 5th Hokage in front of the villagers, Shizune stumbled upon an open book on Tsunade's desk. It showed a series of mathematical equations surrounding a chart of a body. 50% was written and crossed out, followed by an arrow pointing to a circle which contained 58%, and Shizune could only smile. Land of Tea escort mission. With Konoha having a shortage of Jonin due to Orochimaru's failed invasion, Tsunade was forced to use Genin for more dangerous missions than normally allowed. Team 7, minus Kakashi, who was assigned to another mission, was given the assignment of escorting a member of the Wasabi family through a dangerous annual race, as it was rumored the rival Wagarashi family had hired ninja of their own to sabotage the Wasabi family. Along the way, they met an arrogant teenager named Hidate who openly showed his hatred towards ninja. He also showed off his impressive speed by running away from Team 7 after conning them into paying his bill at a restaurant. Upon arriving in the Land of Tea and meeting the Wasabi family's leader, Jirocho, Team 7 was shocked to see Hidate again and learned that he was the man they were assigned to escort. During the race, Naruto and Hidate continued to show their dislike of each other. It was also revealed that Hidate was actually the younger brother of Ibiki and formerly a Konoha Genin. They also encountered the 3 Ame Genin from the Chunin exams. After defeating them, they encountered Aoi Rokusho, another former Konoha shinobi who betrayed Konoha to join Ame. He was also originally Hidate's teacher and the one responsible for Hidate running away from Konoha. After barely surviving Aoi's attack, Hidate explained how after he was failed by Ibiki himself for the Chunin exams, Aoi tricked Hidate into stealing a special scroll and the Sword of the Thunder God from the village. Being able to relate with Hidate in both being taken advantage of and the need to have others recognize them, Naruto helped Hidate regain his self-worth and continue the race. While managing to catch up in the race, Aoi appeared again and used the Thunder Sword to initially overpower Team 7. But thanks to Sasuke fighting Aoi and weakening the sword with his Chidori, Naruto was able to break it when they clashed and defeated Aoi with his Rasengan. With the danger overcome, Hidate was free to continue and win the race for the Wasabi family. During the victory ceremony, Kyoroku tried to cheat the victory by lying that Naruto carrying Hidate was a violation, but the daimyo caught Kyoroku and his minister for cheating. As a result, the minister had to become a monk and the Wagarashi family was disbanded. While returning to the village, Team 7 was escorted by Ibiki himself. While he did not openly state this fact, Ibiki was glad that Naruto helped his brother grow as a man. Sasuke recovery mission. Naruto's influence on Sasuke, though profound, was powerless to prevent Sasuke from leaving the village and his friends to receive training from Orochimaru. Sasuke's decision to leave was the result of a chain of events that rekindled his hatred for his brother and his desire to avenge his clan. To do so, he must claim a great amount of power, which became the center of his entire life. Humiliated by Itachi's declaration that he was disappointingly weak and aware of the fact that Naruto might be his superior, Sasuke challenged Naruto to a fight after Naruto returned to Konoha. They engaged in a heated duel on the rooftop of the hospital, where Naruto told Sasuke that he had never considered himself inferior to Sasuke. Kakashi Hatake leapt in to stop the fight just when Naruto and Sasuke were about to use their Rasengan and Chidori on each other, deflecting both their attacks into adjacent water towers. While Sasuke's Chidori made a larger dent on the front of the tower than Naruto's Rasengan, Sasuke was shocked to find that the back of Naruto's water tank had been completely blown out by the power of his Rasengan. Sasuke realized he may have lost the fight and received major injuries if Kakashi hadn't stopped it. This only made Sasuke even angrier that Naruto was getting stronger by the day and could actually be able to defeat him in battle. Ever since the Chunin exams and the fight against Gaara of the Sand Waterfall, Sasuke had felt that Naruto had been improving immensely. Naruto only wanted recognition from Sasuke, recognition that he had got stronger. However, Sasuke would never recognize Naruto because by doing so, he would also have to admit that he was weaker than him. Despite a lecture from Kakashi about the pointlessness of revenge, the appearance of Orochimaru's Sound 4 with an offer of even greater powers, and yet another humiliating pummeling tipped Sasuke over the edge. Sasuke went to leave the village that night but was disrupted by Sakura, who then tried to convince him not to leave. During this conversation, a crying and desperate Sakura confessed her love to Sasuke and begged him not to leave the village, but he rejected her. Once she realized he was going to leave either way, she offered to go with him to help him enact his revenge, which he refused. As a last resort, Sakura threatened to scream and alert the village guards if Sasuke left. Finally, having hit a nerve, Sasuke moved from several feet in front of Sakura to directly behind her in a flash of speed. He sincerely thanks her for everything she'd done for him thus far, before knocking her unconscious and laying her on a nearby bench, and then leaving the village. A 5-man squad was gathered by Shikamaru, including himself, Kiba, Naruto, Choji, and Neji. Naruto also recommended Shino, however, Shino was on a special mission with his father at the time. Sakura arrives just before they leave and explains while crying that she failed to stop Sasuke, and asks Naruto, who she believes to be the only one capable of doing so, to do it as a once-in-a-lifetime request. Naruto makes her a lifetime promise to bring Sasuke back. They easily caught up to the Sound 4, who were escorting Sasuke to Orochimaru. Strategies were not used, rather the team split up. The same happened on the part of the Sound 4. They dropped people one by one, and Choji ended up fighting Jirobo by himself. Using 2 of the secret pills of the Akamichi clan, Choji was able to increase his chakra enough to keep from being defeated. In the end, he had to consume the red pepper pill, which increased his chakra 100-fold, but left him in extremely critical condition, usually resulting in death. Taking the pill slimmed down his body as the excess calories were converted into butterfly wings of chakra. After getting revenge on Jirobo for eating the last chip and for calling him fat, Choji put all his chakra and power into his fist and killed Jirobo for insulting his best friend, Shikamaru. Next, Neji ended up fighting Kitamaru. Kitamaru had trouble at short range since Neji's Byakugan and Gentle Fist were too powerful to penetrate. Kitamaru ended up fighting from long range, but the battle was locked in a stalemate until Kitamaru discovered a weakness of the Byakugan. It had a blind spot behind Neji's first thoracic vertebra. Knowing that he would be hit in this area, Neji intentionally allowed Kitamaru to hit him with a powerful arrow, to which Kitamaru had affixed a chakra string to ensure accuracy. However, Neji used the chakra string to use his Gentle Fist to damage Kitamaru's internal organs. Neji then caught up with Kitamaru and used his 8 trigrams to close Kitamaru's Tenketsu. Kitamaru died shortly after. Neji was left in a critical state after the fight. Shikamaru was matched up with Toyuya, while Kiba and Akamaru were with Sakon and Ukon. Kiba and Akamaru did an amazing tag team on Sakon, but Sakon split with Ukon right before Kiba and Akamaru could lay a devastating blow. Sakon and Ukon activated their curse seal to level 2, which made them far too powerful for Kiba and Akamaru to cope with. Meanwhile, Shikamaru, despite all his prowess at forming strategies, simply couldn't kill Toyuya because of her sheer force. He managed to use his shadow imitation technique on her 3 summons, but she quickly dispelled them both. Then he caught her in his shadow imitation technique with his shadow neck binding technique, while at the same time Akamaru got injured with Kiba refusing to leave him. Without Akamaru to do their combination attacks, however, Kiba and Akamaru were forced to retreat. Kiba had to stab himself in order to escape, and Shikamaru for the first time couldn't come up with any ideas to defeat Toyuya, and was forced to keep his shadow neck binding technique on her. Finally, Shikamaru and Kiba were ready to accept their deaths. However, before the finishing strikes could be executed, the Sand Ninja arrived to help. Right before Shikamaru and Kiba were about to die, they were aided by Temari and Konkoro, respectively, who had been ordered to help the Konoha ninja. Konkoro's puppets were unaffected by Sakon and Ukon's ability to fuse with cells. When Sakon arrived, he attempted to do the same thing he had almost done with Kiba, but Konkoro turned out to be his new puppet, Kuroari, to injure Sakon, forcing them to fuse back and Ukon to take over. Konkoro then trapped Sakon and Ukon inside of his puppet. Konkoro then used Karasu to stab them through holes in Kuroari and used Karasu and Kuroari to do a devastating and deadly combo, Black Secret Technique Machine One Shot, thus killing the brothers. Meanwhile, since Toyuya used sound to attack, Tamari's wind was a natural enemy. Tamari used her Sickle Weasel technique, which blew away Toyuya and cut her flute in half. Shikamaru used this time to tell Tamari about Toyuya's strategies. After a while, Toyuya fixed her flute and was ready to kill Shikamaru and Tamari. but Tamari used her summoning technique and used the summoning quick beheading dance, which was able to kill Tayuya by destroying an entire tract of the forest, in which the sliced debris crushed the latter. Last, Kimimaro, who was stronger than all the Sound 4 combined, came to aid the escort mission. At first, he was faced with Naruto, but even Naruto's massive amount of shadow clones proved to be no match for Kimimaro, whose taijutsu skills were more than a match for Naruto's superior numbers. Naruto even used the nine-tailed demon fox's chakra, but was still losing. During the fight, Sasuke emerged from the coffin, which caused Naruto to return to normal and begin wondering why Sasuke was with the Sound 4. Naruto began urging Sasuke to return home with him, stating how everyone was worried about Sasuke. Unfortunately, Sasuke, who had fallen deeper into darkness, responded by cackling madly before fleeing with Naruto calling Sasuke's name. Kimimaro attempted to kill Naruto but was stopped by Rock Lee, allowing Naruto to chase after Sasuke while Lee fought Kimimaro. Both Lee and Kimimaro were taijutsu experts, but since Lee had only recently recovered from the surgery, he was not in top shape. Lee drank some sake that he thought was medicine and became intoxicated, and began fighting with the drunken fist style. With this added unpredictability, Lee gained an upper hand. However, he clearly had no idea what he was doing, who he was fighting, and why he felt so drunk. After a while, Kimimaro was forced to do his dance of the Camellia, but Rock Lee then appeared to be virtually invincible and laid a devastating blow. Seeing that there was no chance of him defeating Lee in his present state, Kimimaro used his Curse Seal level 1 and overpowered Lee, manifesting his horrific ability to manipulate his bones at will. Not only this, but Lee began to sober up. Lee would have been killed if Gaara had not arrived in time and used his sand to protect Lee. For obvious reasons, Kimimaro was at a disadvantage, since Gaara was capable of blocking all physical attacks, and Kimimaro could only use physical attacks. However, like the Sound 4, Kimimaro was able to get past Gaara's defense and offense by sheer force. Kimimaro's bones were so tough that they simply forced their way through Gaara's sand. Even Sand, Waterfall, Funeral, and other crushing forces couldn't bring down Kimimaro, as he created a film of bone beneath his skin to protect him. Kimimaro would have defeated and killed Gaara with his last attack, but before Kimimaro could finish Gaara, his terminal illness ended his life. Naruto caught up with Sasuke and they began battling. Sasuke's Cursed Seal of Heaven, which had been powered up by a pill given to him by the Sound 4, which is why he was in the coffin, gave Sasuke inhuman strength, which he used to reduce Naruto to almost ragdoll levels. Meanwhile, Sasuke recalled his experiences with Itachi and his parents up to the point of the Uchiha clan downfall. It was in these memories that the Mangekyo Sharingan and how Itachi obtained it by killing his best friend Shisui was revealed. It was also revealed that Itachi had encouraged Sasuke to gain the Mangekyo Sharingan, which he claimed to be the only way he could exact revenge, by any means necessary, and this became Sasuke's motivation for killing Naruto, who he claimed to be his best friend. Back in Konoha, Kakashi Hatake, brought up to speed on the situation, summoned his Ninken, including Pakun, to track down Naruto and Sasuke. Meanwhile, Naruto and Sasuke unleashed the Rasengan and Chidori respectively, causing each other to fly backwards. Activating his Cursed Seal, Sasuke used his enhanced speed and strength to overcome Naruto and strike him with the Chidori. Naruto managed to block the attack, but Sasuke, still intent on killing Naruto, tried to strangle him, only to have himself thrown aside by a Nine Tails powered opponent. With his enhanced abilities, Naruto was able to overwhelm Sasuke, all the while trying to reason with him, only to have Sasuke ultimately reject his efforts. Despite this, Sasuke finally admitted they were fighting as equals. In this moment, Sasuke's Sharingan finally matured, enabling him to predict Naruto's movements and once again turn the tables. Upset by Naruto's persistence, Sasuke knocked him unconscious with Peregrine Falcon Drop. The Nine Tails, probably to save itself, gave Naruto even more of its chakra, creating for the first time Naruto's one-tailed transformation, complete with the Demon Fox cloak that surrounds him. With one arm of the cloak, Naruto unleashed powerful short and long-range attacks, which Sasuke, even with his Sharingan, was unable to keep up with. Feeling he had no choice, Sasuke increased his Cursed Seal of Heaven to level 2, once again evening the playing field. Both Sasuke and Naruto realized the cost of their respective abilities at that point, but both decided that they had no other choice. Sasuke revealed that the location of their fight was the Valley of the End, and determined to end the battle, forced the use of a third Chidori. Naruto created, using one hand and the Demon Fox Cloak's chakra as a shell, the Demon Fox Rasengan. Sasuke's Chidori, after a moment, warped into the Flapping Chidori. The two ninja collided their attacks. Sasuke, planning to punch Naruto in the heart, deliberately missed and targeted the gut instead, while Naruto, referring to one of Sasuke's insults, scratched his forehead protector. A black dome of energy formed around them, which eventually dissipated, revealing the two ninja as their current forms, and then as their younger selves, who held hands and smiled at each other. When the dust settled, Sasuke was revealed to be victorious. Sasuke pondered whether or not to kill an unconscious Naruto, but decided to leave him alive. Kakashi and Pakun arrived, disappointed that they were too late. Kakashi took Naruto back to Konoha. At the same time, Sasuke decided to gain the power to kill Itachi his own way, through Orochimaru, and he walked off to Otogakure. It was then revealed that the Akatsuki member Zetsu had been watching the fight the whole time. As Kakashi took Naruto back to Konoha, several medical nin appeared to update him on the situation and to take care of Naruto and Sasuke, which Kakashi deemed unnecessary for obvious reasons in both cases. Neji and Choji both underwent intensive medical treatment. Both were successfully healed thanks to the Nara clan's medical tome, Tsunade's medical prowess, and Shizune and a team of medical nin. Kiba and Akamaru were also healed from their moderate injuries under the care of Hana Inuzuka, his elder sister. Shikamaru, with only his finger injured, decided to end his ninja career as he put his team's life in danger and his mission failed regardless, but Shikaku convinced him to persevere. Sasuke was shown walking with Orochimaru and Kabuto in one of Orochimaru's lairs. Shikamaru paid Naruto a visit in his room, while Sakura decided to visit Naruto and Sasuke, only to be severely disappointed by Naruto's failure to bring Sasuke back, as she overheard Naruto and Shikamaru's conversation. Naruto, however, declared that he would keep his original promise, to which Sakura gratefully responded. After her visit to Naruto, Sakura, realizing how useless she had been in keeping Sasuke in Konoha, requested that Tsunade take her on as her apprentice, to which Tsunade consented. Naruto's next visitor was Jiraiya, who revealed that Orochimaru had already taken a body before Sasuke arrived. So he had to wait another 3 years to take another body, and tried to convince Naruto to give up on Sasuke based on his similar experience with Orochimaru. Naruto, however, refused to quit in his efforts. Jiraiya, who figured it pointless to change Naruto's mind, decided to train Naruto for 2.5 years to prepare Naruto for the Akatsuki, which Naruto readily accepted. The Akatsuki convenes and decides to hasten their plans. In the anime, Naruto was forced to remain in Konoha for a few months before setting out with Jiraiya. In the manga, he left as soon as he got out of the hospital. Sakura also asked to become Tsunade's apprentice at the time of Naruto's departure in the manga, while in the anime, it was after a mission with Naruto and Jiraiya that happened shortly after Sasuke's departure. Land of Rice Fields Investigation Mission. After recovering from his battle against Sasuke, Naruto joins Sakura in another attempt to save Sasuke from Orochimaru. Before crossing Konoha's border, Jiraiya appears. He saves them from becoming labeled missing nin for leaving the village without authorization by allowing them to join him on a mission to gather information on Sasuke and Orochimaru. Their journey takes them to the land of Rice Fields, the land of Otogakure. After a couple comedic failures to gather info due to Jiraiya's perverted antics, Naruto and Sakura meet a young kunoichi named Sasame of the Fuma clan. She revealed her desire to find her cousin Arashi, who, along with the majority of her clan, went missing. After facing 3 members of the Fuma clan and managing to escape them, Jiraiya returned with new information he gathered from the remnants of the Fuma clan that saw through Orochimaru's lies. Jiraiya explained that Orochimaru was gathering as many followers as he could from various clans simply to gain their secret technique. After facing the 3 members again and defeating them, Sasame led Naruto and his team to Orochimaru's current hideout. Inside the base, with no knowledge of where to go, the team took different paths. Eventually, Naruto found Sakura in a long corridor facing off against Kabuto. Naruto was able to hit Kabuto with his Rasengan, but unfortunately fell prey to a devastating technique that attacked his heart. After being saved by Sakura and Sasame, it was soon discovered that Kabuto was actually another Fuma clan member, Kagero in disguise. Soon after, they found Arashi, who became the victim of an unstable technique of Orochimaru's that merged him with his 2 fellow clan members and drove him insane. Naruto, along with Sasame and Sakura, were able to restore his mind. As Orochimaru's hideout began to fall apart, Arashi revealed that Sasuke was safe for now, but Orochimaru was doing everything in his power to make Sasuke a perfect host for him in the near future. After being sure that the Fuma clan were free from Orochimaru's control, Naruto and his team returned to Konoha. Mizuki Tracking Mission. Ready to begin his 3-year training with Jiraiya, Naruto was furious to learn that Jiraiya was ordered by Tsunade to go gather information instead for a while. After Jiraiya managed to sneak away from Naruto, he decided to talk directly to Tsunade. Naruto, who was spying on one of Tsunade's Hokage meetings, discovered that Mizuki not only had escaped from prison, but had a connection to Orochimaru. Seeing this as another chance to find Sasuke, Naruto went off to look for Mizuki and met up with Iruka. Eventually, Naruto fought Mizuki and was horrified at how much stronger Mizuki looked now. Iruka had Naruto fight against the legendary Stupid Brothers while Iruka faced off against Mizuki. After being completely overpowered by the 2 brothers' insane raw strength, Naruto was saved by Team 10, who took over the battle so Naruto could aid Iruka. Along the way, Naruto met Mizuki's former lover, Tsubaki. With her help, Naruto and Iruka found Mizuki's hideout, where it was discovered that Mizuki was given instructions for a special performance-enhancing drug. Meanwhile, Team 10 is almost defeated since the 2 brothers are too powerful, but Tsunade comes to their aid and convinces them that Mizuki tricked them and that they should head back to the prison. After consuming the drug, Mizuki becomes a behemoth of his former self and completely overpowered Naruto and Iruka. After discovering that Mizuki's speed was rapidly declining from pouring more chakra into his raw strength, Naruto and Iruka were able to defeat him with a well-timed maneuver that ended with a Rasengan. After Mizuki was interrogated, it was discovered that he unfortunately had no knowledge of Orochimaru's whereabouts. Bikochu's search mission. Seeing how desperate Naruto was to find Sasuke, Team 8 came up with a solution. They requested Tsunade assign them a mission to find the legendary Bikochu beetle that could track any target as long as they had the target's scent. As Kurenai was still hospitalized and there were no other missions available, she approved their request. Naruto was placed on the team as well after being caught spying, and forced to vow not to continue asking for missions to be sent to search for Sasuke if this one failed. Naruto was annoyed, however, to be under Shino's command. Upon finally arriving at the nesting grounds of the Bikochu, the team had great difficulty searching for it. Things became even more complicated when it was discovered that the Kamizuru clan of Iwagakure were also after the beetle in hopes of restoring their clan honor. After Naruto and his team managed to capture the Bikochu and it laid an egg, Hinata was captured by the enemies and used as a hostage to get the egg. While Naruto and his team tried to save her, they fell prey to the enemy's trap and were captured as well. Fortunately, Shino had already hid the Bikochu too thoroughly for the enemies to find. After Hinata escapes from her prison only to seemingly fall off a cliff, Naruto begins to draw on his tailed beast chakra in a rage, frightening an enemy who decides to preemptively kill him. Fortunately, Hinata appeared and saved her team. Naruto then watched in amazement as Hinata's new original technique completely overpowered the enemy's B-oriented techniques. He was even more shocked to hear that he was the one who inspired Hinata to attempt making something so complex and powerful. After Naruto defeated the last enemy, the Bikochu egg finally began to hatch. Naruto unfortunately could not find Sasuke's forehead protector that he brought for Sasuke's scent. In a fit of desperation, Naruto accidentally farted, causing the baby Bikochu to memorize the latter's scent. This meant that the mission was a failure as a Bikochu can only memorize one scent in its lifetime, and it'll take another year before another egg is hatched. Upon returning to the village, Naruto was forced to face a livid Sakura, who was angered due to his bumbling the last chance Tsunade had permitted them to attempt to find Sasuke. Kurosuke family removal mission. With Jiraiya still gone and no idea of when he would return, Naruto decided to train any way he could in the village. While training in the woods, he came across 3 weak and injured men from the village of the Katabami gold mine. Naruto brought them back to Konoha. After they recovered and explained to Tsunade that they came to Konoha for help in ridding their village of a terrible gang, Tsunade decided to assign Naruto on the mission with Team Guy to keep him preoccupied. Before leaving, Naruto learned from Lee, who was told by Guy that the leader of this gang is Raiga Kurosuke, a former member of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist. Naruto saw this as another chance to find Sasuke, as Raiga might know where Kisame and Itachi are, which could lead him to Sasuke. Before arriving at the village, the team stopped at a small restaurant that Lee knew well from his early days training with Guy. There they met an old acquaintance of Lee's, Sansho, an elderly lady whose best meal was an energizing and nutritious curry known as the Curry of Life. Sansho revealed that her son Karashi had left the village a while ago after getting a wrong understanding on being strong. The team then went to the village and were horrified to discover that not only were the villagers so traumatized by the gang that they refused to be rescued, but also that Raiga had a psychotic joy for funerals and would regularly bury people alive. After defeating Raiga's minions and discovering one of them was Karashi, Naruto and the others were confronted by Raiga. In addition to Raiga's highly powerful lightning jutsu, Naruto and the team found themselves at an even bigger disadvantage from a powerful genjutsu even Neji's Byakugan was powerless against. Soon, it was discovered that Raiga's unique genjutsu and much of his power was actually coming from a young boy he was carrying on his back. The boy was named Ranmaru and possessed a unique dojutsu. After separating the two, Naruto was able to launch him off a cliff with a Rasengan and defeat him. Afterwards, Naruto and the team retrieved Ranmaru. They learned that the boy had been with Raiga for years by choice because the two of them had an understanding. Raiga gave Ranmaru a reason to live and feel useful. This made Naruto remember Haku, who shared a similar relationship with Zabuza, and ultimately refused to let Ranmaru go down the same path as Haku did, and offered him another path. Later, while the team was helping Sansho make a shelter for her shop against a storm, Ranmaru had Karashi bring him to Raiga's burial. Ranmaru was able to tell that despite Raiga's fatal wounds from Naruto, Raiga was still barely alive. Ranmaru, without hesitation, transferred almost all of his energy into Raiga to save him. Infuriated by the sight of a seemingly dead Ranmaru, Raiga took out his rage on Naruto and the team. No longer having Ranmaru's eyes to aid him in battle, Raiga gathered natural energy from a lightning storm of power and enhanced his lightning release technique. After Ranmaru was saved and rescued by Tenten, he began to understand what Naruto was talking about, in terms of finding value in life besides killing others. Ranmaru helped Sansho and Karashi revive the unconscious Naruto, Neji, and Lee with the Curry of Life. Ranmaru then tried to convince Raiga to stop the meaningless battle, but Raiga only viewed this as a betrayal. After seeing that Ranmaru had made up his mind and Naruto managed to overpower him, Raiga decided to give himself a funeral by electrocuting himself to death. After the mission was completed, with Ranmaru now being apprenticed to Sansho, Naruto and his team returned to the village. Gosenkugi capture mission. When word that a notorious thief known as Gosenkugi of the Land of Stone was making his way towards the Land of Fire reached Konoha, Tsunade assigned Naruto, Kiba, and Hinata to capture the man. Along their way, they met a bounty hunter by the name of Sazanami who was also after Gosenkugi. After quickly dispatching Naruto and his friends, Sazanami managed to find Gosenkugi but was quickly defeated. He was saved by Konoha Shinobi. It was later, while treating the man's wounds, that Naruto and his team found out the man was actually another wanted man by the name of Tokichi. Tokichi explained that he was framed for murdering a family that Gosenkugi actually killed. Deciding to help Tokichi clear his name, they worked together to track down Gosenkugi again. Gosenkugi and Tokichi himself were captured by another bounty hunter and handed over to the authorities. The bounty hunter was an honorable man and helped clear Tokichi's name. For Naruto and the others, this meant they failed their mission as someone else captured Gosenkugi. Cursed Warrior Extermination Mission. While eating ramen after doing his daily training in preparation for Jiraiya's return, Naruto met a young man named Chishima. He's told about the troubles going on in the Land of Birds and wishes to help. He then joins Neji and Tenten in solving the mystery of Cursed Warrior's ghost. Upon arriving in the Land of Birds, they meet one of the daimyo's advisors, Moso, who explains the situation. While searching the kingdom at night, Naruto and his team find the ghost and face off against it, only to find that not only was the armor empty, but according to Neji's Byakugan, it had no living presence. Kome believed later that it was one of Moso's devices. The following day, Moso explains that it's believed that the whole situation is a scheme to set up the daimyo's head strategist Kome to take over the Land of Birds. They then go meet the daimyo, Sagi, who turns out to be a young teen and childhood friend of Chishima. However, since becoming daimyo and losing his twin sister Toki, he has become quite cold to all beyond his duties as daimyo. After saving him from an attempted assassination, it's discovered that the weapons are owned by Kome's soldiers. Naruto, Neji, and Tenten begin spying on Kome, who later goes to the site Cursed Warrior was seen the previous night. This time, upon fighting, Naruto and his team face a much more formidable opponent using high-level ninjutsu techniques. While defeating him, the enemy commits suicide by melting himself in acid. Then later, Kome is arrested for conspiracy. While they are told the mission is over, both Naruto and Neji have their doubts about it. Naruto goes back to the site to investigate and discovers a chain of underground tunnels. Unfortunately, Naruto takes a path that leads inside the daimyo's palace and is arrested. Later, in a prison cell, Naruto is confronted by Cursed Warrior who attempts to kill him. Naruto manages to defeat him and discovers that it's really Sagi in disguise. Sagi explains that he made the disguise to find out who killed his father and sister. Before the fight could continue, an injured Chishima appears and reveals that Moso was behind the deaths of Sagi's family. Naruto then impersonates the Cursed Warrior and saves Kome from his execution. He then meets up with Neji, Tenten, and the newly arrived Kakashi. They then go to confront Moso. Unfortunately, Sagi goes ahead out of his desire for revenge. Upon catching up with Sagi, it's discovered that Sagi is actually the twin sister Toki impersonating her dead brother. It's also discovered that Moso is actually a ninja named Hoki of the Watari ninja, who plan to take over the Land of Birds. Hoki kidnaps Toki, and Naruto and Chishima go after him while Kakashi, Neji, and Tenten deal with the Watari ninja. Naruto is initially overwhelmed by Hoki's cunning deceptions and various improvised jutsu, but is saved by the spirit of Sagi, who tells Naruto he has to save Toki from her anger. After a battle of clones between the two, Naruto defeats Hoki. Later, Naruto and his team watch as Toki takes up her role officially as daimyo and thanks Naruto for saving her kindness. Kaima Capture Mission. When Anko Mitarashi was assigned to escort a delivery ship and to stop a sea monster mystery in the Land of the Sea, she was assigned with Naruto, Shino, and Ino as all other active ninja were unavailable. Upon arriving at the Land of the Sea, Naruto met a young girl with several bandages named Isaribi. Naruto is shocked to learn that much like him, Isaribi was shunned from the society and treated as a monster. Naruto tried to befriend her, but she was too traumatized to embrace his kindness. Later, when reaching the ship, Naruto and his team were attacked by Yorai Akado and Misumi Tsurugi from the Chunin exams. Naruto was knocked out and sunk into the ocean. Fortunately, he was saved by Isaribi. Meanwhile, after gathering information from the villagers, they found Isaribi after she transformed into a humanoid sea creature and prevented her from escaping. After catching up with his team, Naruto discovers the sea monster was actually Isaribi. Unfortunately, before they could figure things out, Yoroi appears and kidnaps Isaribi. Naruto's team is unable to follow as Anko mysteriously faints. After Anko recovers, she reveals the truth about her past and this chain of islands. She tells her team that several years ago, Orochimaru used this place as a base to conduct many of his horrific experiments. He was responsible for the people mysteriously disappearing, kidnapping them and using them as lab rats. Isaribi was one of them. These actions also started the legend of people being captured by spirits. Determined to make Orochimaru pay, Naruto insisted on destroying the hidden lab. While Anko was able to guide them to the lab thanks to prior knowledge she had as Orochimaru's former apprentice, they were ambushed by the enemy. Naruto was shocked to learn that Isaribi was working with the people who turned her into a freak. She explained that all she cared about was becoming normal again, which Amagi, the lead scientist, promised would do. Naruto began to convince her that this was wrong and that he understood her pain since he too had been discriminated against, but Isaribi refused to listen. She then retreated with Amagi to attack the cargo ship. Naruto was stopped from following by Misami, who was able to defeat him with Ino's help. After escaping with his team from the crumbling lab as the result of all the fighting inside, Naruto and his team went after Amagi and Isaribi. Naruto then found himself up against Isaribi, but eventually managed to make her understand what she was doing was wrong. Soon after, Amagi went up against Naruto and revealed to have put himself through the same surgery as Isaribi, but fully perfected. Initially, Naruto was completely overwhelmed, but by tapping into some of the Ninetales' chakra, Naruto quickly defeated him. He soon after collapsed from exhaustion, but was saved again by Isaribi, who was compelled to save him after realizing that Naruto really did understand her pain. Shortly after Naruto awoke, he and his team found themselves attacked by Amachi's spectral summoning. Naruto countered by summoning Gamabunta to help. Together, they were able to destroy it with an improvised fire release technique. After discovering that Amachi had no idea how to restore Isaribi to her previous form, Naruto offered that Isaribi come back with him to Konoha in hopes that Tsunade's superior medical prowess would be able to help. Buried Gold Excavation Mission. Noticing that lately Naruto, Hinata, and Kiba have had a rather low success rate in their ninja missions, Tsunade decided to give them one final chance to succeed or be sent back to the academy to restart their training. Their mission was to retrieve a hidden treasure. Initially, Naruto and Kiba kept getting into arguments about which way to go, which resulted in them taking different directions and each time Kiba emerging the one correct. Along the way, Hinata injured her ankle, forcing Kiba to go on alone while Naruto stayed with Hinata. After Kiba left, Naruto and Hinata were attacked and captured by mysterious ninja. Naruto later awoke to discover that he and his friends were replicated by their captors. The captors revealed themselves to be of the Kedouin clan, a clan with a special transformation technique that copies a person beyond just looking like their target. Their plan is to infiltrate Konoha and destroy it from the inside. The enemies attempt to crush Naruto and his team in a cave-in. Naruto and Kiba manage to free Hinata, who then uses her gentle fist to repel all the rocks. Later, Naruto and his team escape the cave and go after the Kedouin clan. To Naruto's fury, his double goes all around the village, building up a huge bill from various restaurants, and then eats all of Naruto's saved food at home. After finding the doubles, it's discovered that they can't replicate the original's physical prowess and are easily able to capture them. Later, it's revealed from Tsunade that she actually hired the Kedouin clan to test Naruto and the others on how well they could handle just such a situation. Starguard Mission. While having a snack with Sakura, Naruto learns that Neji, Lee, and Tenten were sent on a mission to aid Hoshigakure protect their precious chakra-emitting star, which was actually a meteorite from Thebes. Suspecting that Orochimaru might be behind these attempted thefts, Naruto convinced Tsunade to add him to the team. After Naruto and the team arrived at the base, they met a young Hoshi genin named Sumeru, who escorted them safely around the deadly gases surrounding the village. They were then introduced to the acting leader, or Hoshikage, of the village, Akahoshi, who explained the situation. It was revealed that the special star enhances the chakra of whoever trains under it long enough, and enables them to manipulate their raw chakra in very unique ways, forming a ninjutsu known as the Mysterious Peacock Method. Later, the star was stolen by a masked ninja who possessed the same star-enhanced techniques as the Hoshigakure, only more powerful and refined. When Naruto began making friends with several of the Hoshi genin, he learned that Sumeru lost his parents when he was young and dreams of becoming Kage. Later, after Sumeru was kidnapped by Akahoshi disguised as the masked ninja, it was discovered that the real reason why the star was so coveted by other villages was because of the dangers of using it, as very few in history had survived the star training. The forced releasing and enhancement of chakra generally proves too unnatural for most people to adapt to, causing the body to give out and die before it can properly synchronize with their chakra. And even if the person does complete the training, there is still a chance the person will eventually be killed by the enhanced chakra. Although the third Hoshikage who died recently stopped the training, Akahoshi resumed it soon afterwards, which the Hoshi ninja may have been willing to go through for the village's prosperity. Later, Naruto found himself up against the masked ninja again when Akahoshi attacked with the intent of killing the masked ninja and knocked Naruto and the masked ninja into the poisonous cavern. Fortunately, the masked ninja saved them both. Naruto then discovered that the masked ninja was actually a Hoshi jonin named Natsuhi, who was Sumeru's mother and one of the few people to ever successfully complete the star training. She explained that 10 years ago, Natsuhi and her husband, who sometime later died, convinced the third Hoshikage to stop the star training in exchange for faking their death and watching over the village from afar. After hearing how dangerous the star really was, Naruto was determined to help Natsuhi stop Akahoshi, who was deliberately using Hoshigakure for his own selfish goals. After facing off with Akahoshi, he was revealed to have killed the third Hoshikage so he could take over the village and resume the star training, and was willing to sacrifice anyone as long as the village got the glory he desired. After Sumeru appeared, Akahoshi used him as a hostage to force Natsuhi to give him the star. Despite Naruto's anger at Akahoshi, Neji reminded Naruto that technically Akahoshi is not the villain to the Hoshigakure, as they all wish to make their village strong, and as such, the Konoha ninja cannot do anything against the leader without repercussions. Later, Natsuhi attempted to retrieve the star once again despite her failing health, but was killed by Akahoshi. It wasn't until one of the Hoshi Genin showed their villagers the damage the star training did to his body, and the truth of the third Hoshikage's death was revealed to the villagers, and they finally turned against Akahoshi. Deciding to regain control by any means, Akahoshi embedded the star into his being to gain a tremendous power increase. With the help of a final technique left behind from Natsuhi, Naruto was able to defeat Akahoshi and destroy the star using the Rasengan. Later, the infected Hoshi ninja were taken to Konoha for treatment from Tsunade and are cured. Naruto is glad to see that despite losing the star, the Hoshigakure is still determined to become recognized as the next great shinobi village. Peddler's Escort Mission. Excited to finally have another mission, Naruto is joined by Hinata and Choji to go to the land of vegetables to escort a group of merchants. Along the way, it was noticed that smoke was coming from deep within the land of vegetables, prompting Naruto to investigate. Upon doing so, he was attacked by a couple of unknown ninja. After escaping them and reporting to his team, it was decided to try going down a different route in hopes the mysterious ninja weren't after them. In addition, one of the merchants, Shun, suggested the group split into two to allow the weak and younger members further protection. After the teams were split, with Hinata going ahead with the weaker group and Naruto and Choji staying back to protect the first group, Naruto went to check the area again and found one of the merchants, Kikunojo, dead and dressed as a ninja. Naruto then returned to his group in time to see the enemies attacking and just as quickly retreating. This allowed Naruto and Choji to realize the enemies were after a target in the other group. After catching up with Hinata's group, Naruto and Choji confronted Shun and Yurinoshin, since Kikunosuke was close to them. It was revealed that Shun was actually Princess Haruna, heir to the Land of Vegetables throne, and Kikunosuke and Yurinoshin were Haruna's personal bodyguards named Kikunojo and Yurinojo. It was also revealed that a dangerous group of ninja called the Jonin conjured a coup d'etat and killed the Land of Vegetables daimyo. Fearing that their combined skills would not be enough to protect Haruna, Kikunojo and Yurinojo hired Konoha for extra help, but pretended it was an escort mission because they were low on money. Naruto was furious when he learned that Haruna decided to use the innocent merchants as a decoy for her escape from the criminal brothers. Later, he was told that Haruna had lost her faith in others because of her troubled past of growing up away from her home for years in a terrible land. Later, the youngest member of the group and the one who killed Kikunojo, Ruiga, attacked Naruto and his team. Despite being outnumbered, Ruiga's unique water technique easily overpowered his enemies. Fortunately, an attack was already predicted and Hinata escaped with Haruna. After Yurinojo realized Ruiga's technique doesn't work in dry areas, he, along with Choji and Naruto, lured Ruiga into a cannon to cut off his water supply, and they were able to defeat him. Unfortunately, Yurinojo sustained an injury, causing Choji to stay with him while Naruto went after Hinata and Haruna. Naruto then discovered that Haruna knocked out Hinata and ran away. While looking for Haruna, the second brother Jiga appeared. Armed with a magnetic wave manipulating jutsu, Naruto was quickly defeated. Fortunately, Hinata arrived and used her gentle fist to turn Jiga's own technique against him by tampering with his chakra network, causing Jiga to become buried in iron sand. Afterwards, Naruto leaves an exhausted Hinata in Choji and Yurinojo's care while he went off to find Haruna, knowing that she needs help and to regain faith in others. After finding Haruna, they were ambushed by the eldest brother of the group, Renga. Naruto faced off against Renga, but his unique ability to create ice discs out of the moisture in the air allowed him to repel all of Naruto's attacks and force him on the defensive. After hearing that Renga planned to kill his brothers later so he could keep all the profits for himself, and how Haruna's father gave her up as a hostage for the country's safety but deeply despised himself for it, Haruna realized her outlook in life was wrong. When Renga began to use the discs to create heat beams from the sun's rays, Naruto used his forehead protector to reflect the beam on Renga and defeat him. Afterwards, Haruna found herself with a chance to kill Renga and avenge her father, but she chose not to after being inspired by Naruto's selflessness. Later, after being crowned daimyo, Haruna decided to become a ruler with the same kind of compassion. She asked Naruto to be her advisor, but Naruto declined as he still desired to save Sasuke. Third Great Beast Arc. While going through a standard checkup with Tsunade, Naruto learned that Lee's recovery from his injuries during the Chunin exams was still questionable. Later, Naruto and Tenten went to check in on Lee just in time to see him in a practice match against a young prodigy named Yagura. To Naruto, Tenten, and Guy's amazement, not only was Yagura able to push Lee back in taijutsu combat, but was also able to use advanced taijutsu techniques to nearly break Lee's ankle. Later, when Naruto and Tenten were worrying about Lee's well-being, Neji convinced them to have faith in Lee as Neji had learned, stating bluntly that Lee has the potential to surpass any prodigy despite his shortcomings because of his dedication. Later, when Guy went on a mission with Yagura, it was discovered that the boy who was with Guy was actually an imposter. Tsunade quickly sent Tenten, Neji, and Naruto to go after Guy. Tsunade also decided not to tell Lee in fear that he would follow them despite his ankle injury. Upon catching up with Guy, it was discovered that he was already captured by a ninja team of brothers who wielded a unique puppet technique that controlled wooden training dummies and were on a mission of revenge against Guy for their father's death. While Naruto and the team managed to fight back the dummies, Lee surprisingly showed up and rushed to aid his sensei. As Naruto and the team begin to tire, Guy and Lee managed to defeat the brothers' dummy fortress and break the technique. Afterwards, Guy revealed to everyone the story behind his battle with the brothers' father, making the brothers realize that their father didn't have contempt for Guy, but respect. This meant that their desire for revenge was pointless. Konoha plans recapture mission. With so much new construction and expansion going on in the village, workers from outside were also being hired to help, including an old man named Geno. Shortly after meeting each other at Ichiraku, Naruto and Geno became close. It turned out that Geno was in fact a legendary ninja from Kagero Village, who was infamous as a strategist. One night, Geno finally began his plan against Konoha and stole several building blueprints. After being cornered by the Anbu, Geno decided to end things by blowing himself up. Later, after Tsunade sent every available ninja above Genin rank except Shikamaru on a mission to secure the Land of Fire's border from a possible attack that Geno spoke of from Takigakure, Tsunade assembled Naruto and the other Genin to aid Shikamaru in locating these stolen blueprints. Naruto was horrified to find out that the kind man he grew attached to was actually the enemy of the village. Later, Naruto was taken in for questioning with the Anbu as he possibly would be the best lead for discovering Geno's plans. Even with hypnosis, the Anbu were unable to gather any useful information beyond that Geno was nice to Naruto because he reminded Geno of his grandson. Later, questions about Geno's supposed death came up. It was then discovered that Geno faked his death with a fake corpse. It was also discovered that Takigakure had nothing to do with Geno, meaning Geno tricked Konoha into making itself almost completely unprotected. The group's search for Geno soon took them to the academy, where it was discovered that an enormous chain of explosive tags were planted starting from it, leading all over the village. The group then immediately went to work safely removing the explosive tags. Thanks to help from Hamada Mitakado and Koharu Utatane, it was discovered that Geno actually planted most of them 30 years ago. This meant that Geno came to the village once before. It was then learned that 30 years ago, Geno's village was at war with Konoha. In the end, Konoha was able to destroy the village with a sneak attack. 2 days later, however, another rival village came and destroyed the remnants. Meanwhile, Naruto remembered that whenever he ate ramen with Geno, he was frequently gazing at the Hokage monument. This prompted Naruto to go investigate. Inside, he found that Geno was indeed alive and had planted several explosive tags inside the monument. Geno revealed that the explosive tags all over the village were just another decoy. His real goal was to cause a rock slide from the monument to destroy the village. The group arrived in time after Shikamaru correctly deduced Geno's true goal and disarmed his main means of triggering the tags. Not willing to give up, Geno summoned a giant bird to activate them manually from the monument of the third Hokage. With help, Naruto was able to stop the bird with his Rasengan. Later, Geno died as it was discovered that he was incredibly ill. It was also revealed his grandson was actually his son, and after getting to know Naruto, he decided instead of revenge to have one last fun game. He did so by tampering with several of his explosive tags to, at most, leave a few weak cracks in the monument. After learning the truth, Naruto realized the village had to be prepared for real enemies who desired the village's destruction, and he decided more than ever to train hard. Yakumo Kurama Rescue Mission. While continuing his solo training, Naruto came across a young girl painting Konoha. While watching her do so, she strangely drew a bolt of lightning striking the village. To Naruto's shock, the village suddenly did get struck by lightning, causing the Ninja Academy to become engulfed in flames. While following the girl to figure things out, Naruto was stopped by two medical nin and an Anbu who drugged her and took her somewhere. Naruto soon returned to the village only to learn that recently Kurenai gave up her position as sensei of Team 8. Not wanting his friends to be sad, Naruto went to find Kurenai and try to reason with her. After failing to make her change her mind, Naruto went to talk to Tsunade. Instead of doing so, he bumped into Sakura, who revealed that Kurenai quit because of a new development from an old student of hers, Yakumo Kurama, a student with an unheard of natural aptitude for genjutsu. Deciding to investigate further, Naruto found Yakumo at her family's mansion and disguised himself as Kurenai to gain access. Inside, he found several pictures of various horrors, including the image of Kurenai being stabbed in the chest. Seeing this picture somehow caused Naruto to become suddenly struck by an overwhelming fear as if he himself had been stabbed, and a vision of a demonic-looking Yakumo. After being discovered, Naruto was drugged and knocked out. While unconscious, Naruto had a dream about Yakumo and Kurenai which showed that despite Yakumo badly wanting to be a ninja, Kurenai refused to let her and instead decided to perform a Fuinjutsu to seal away her power. Later, it was discovered that Yakumo came from a noble clan of Konoha that was once infamous for its high aptitude and strong usage of genjutsu, but lost much of their reputation ever since Yakumo's parents, the head of the Kurama clan, died. It was also revealed that the Kurama clan had a very rare and powerful Kekai Genkai, but without proper guidance was deemed too dangerous. Naruto then joined up on a mission to protect Yakumo with Might Guy, Sakura, and Team 8, as Yakumo was being targeted by members of the Kurama clan, including her uncle, Unkai. Naruto and his team managed to find Yakumo, who was protected by Kurenai in time to save her from the clan. After Sakura treated Kurenai and Yakumo, Yakumo revealed to Naruto that she was put under Kurenai's care back then because of a special order from the 3rd Hokage, due to Yakumo's weak body, but strong and unstable powers. She also revealed that she overheard the 3rd Hokage talking to Kurenai about the Kurama clan's power being a threat to the village that had to be dealt with. To Naruto's even greater shock, Yakumo's parents were killed in a horrible fire that Yakumo suspected was the 3rd Hokage's doing. Upon returning to the village, the team found it in ruins with no sign of life. While searching for others, Naruto was found by Unkai. He explained to Naruto that the destroyed village was actually a giant genjutsu cast by Yakumo. Unkai also explained that he and the Kurama clan were after Yakumo because they feared her powers were becoming too unstable and dangerous for the village's safety. He explained that Yakumo's Kekai Genkai allowed her to cast genjutsu that stimulate the mind so much that it can cause actual damage, even to the point of death. The problem is, without proper care and training, the Kekai Genkai's power can turn against the user by creating a second highly dangerous personality known as Ido. Because of this, the 3rd Hokage and Kurenai realized there was no choice but to destroy Yakumo's power before the second mind took over. Willing to sacrifice himself, Unkai knocked Naruto out to block his senses, making the genjutsu powerless and helping Naruto escape. Doing so unfortunately left Unkai terribly wounded. Naruto and Team 8 quickly went after Kurenai and Yakumo, only to be caught in more genjutsu. Despite Kurenai's pleas for Naruto not to, Naruto began telling Yakumo the truth about her powers. Doing so caused her to finally remember how her parents died, which caused her inner demon to finally break free. While Naruto had a heated struggle against it, Kurenai pleaded with Yakumo to help as she was the only one who could stop it. While scared and unsure of herself, Yakumo was convinced by Kurenai that this was still her power and she could learn to make this a great tool if she overcame the darkness. Yakumo managed to destroy the monster and save Naruto, finally purging herself of the darkness. Afterwards, it was learned that all this time, Yakumo still cared for Kurenai as a mother figure. With Kurenai's final mission from the 3rd Hokage finally completed, Kurenai felt that she could now resume her role as leader of Team 8. While Naruto was happy for his friends, this adventure reminded him that he still had to worry about his inner demon and to save Sasuke from his darkness. Gontetsu Escort Mission. Naruto, Lee, and Sakura were ordered to help escort a wanted criminal named Gontetsu, who was a member of the criminal group called Shinobazu, to the Land of Forest's capital to be interrogated and stand trial. Upon arriving at their mission, Naruto and the others met Todoroki, one of the head guards. He quickly made it clear that he didn't want the young ninja's assistance. It was clear that for some reason, he had especially high anger towards Gontetsu. During the transfer through a river, the Shinobazu attacked and caused Naruto, Todoroki, and Gontetsu to be separated from the rest of the group. After a short skirmish with the Shinobazu's leader, Shura, they fell off a waterfall, forcing Shura to retreat. While Naruto managed to survive, with Todoroki and Gontetsu, they were now lost in a maze-like forest, which was also the Shinobazu's home territory. Surprisingly, Gontetsu offered to lead them through it. He explained to Naruto and Todoroki that the Shinobazu were after him to get the money that he stole from them back and then to kill him. Along the way, one of the Shinobazu members, Toki, found and attacked them. With help from Gontetsu, Naruto was able to defeat him. In doing so, Gontetsu had gained Naruto's trust, but Todoroki's rage toward the man seemed to grow even greater. It was then revealed that Gontetsu killed Todoroki's family 5 years ago. After learning what happened to his family, Todoroki joined the Land of Forest's police to find his family's killers and trained extensively so he could get revenge. Finally giving into his anger, Todoroki decided he would kill Gontetsu now. Then, another member of the Shinobazu appeared named Monju. He captured Gontetsu in a net of steel string, and caught Naruto and Todoroki in a constricting trap of more steel string. Later, after Monju left with Gontetsu, Naruto and Todoroki used their sweat to weaken the strings and broke free. Naruto then caught up with Gontetsu and Monju, who was fighting Sakura, Lee, and strangely, a group of kids. With some shadow clone tactics, Naruto was able to defeat Monju. Unfortunately, Shura then emerged and took one of the kids after Monju told him the boy knew where their treasure was. The boy turned out to actually be Todoroki's younger brother, Akio. Todoroki, who arrived not too long ago, refused to believe it. It was explained that while Gontetsu was once a true member of the Shinobazu, after witnessing the pointless slaughtering his gang was doing, he began secretly saving children from Shinobazu's attacks and sheltering them, starting with Akio. Over time, the children began looking to Gontetsu as a father figure and became a new family. Eventually, he decided that his actions of merely sheltering people wasn't strong enough and decided to put an end to Shinobazu.
He then formulated a plan to steal from them their stolen goods and get caught by the police, knowing that this would drag out Shinabazu and give the opportunity needed to stop them permanently. Despite learning the truth, Todoroki refused to forgive Gontetsu as he still helped in the murder of his parents. Naruto, Todoroki, and Lee then joined in saving Akio, while Sakura stayed behind to watch the orphans. Upon arriving at the base, Todoroki accidentally set off the alarms. They soon found Akio, only to be caught in a trap set by Shura, who set the building on fire. Naruto left Todoroki and Gontetsu to save Akio while he went after Shura. With the assistance of his shadow clones, he was able to catch up to Shura and defeat him with a Rasengan. Later, with the Shinabazu destroyed, Todoroki begrudgingly decided to let Gontetsu go and watch over the orphans. Swearing that he would tell his superiors Gontetsu was killed in the fire. Todoroki also grudgingly decided to let his brother Akio stay and help Gontetsu. Menma Memory Search Mission. While searching for a special bamboo ingredient for his next ramen meal, Naruto came across a young man floating in the river. He quickly took him to the village hospital. It was discovered that the young boy had no memory of who he was. There were no clues as to who he was beyond an ocarina. Later the following night, lightning struck the hospital, causing it to burst into flames. The young man, who was still being cared for, quickly acted by saving an infant with the aid of a strange technique performed with his ocarina. To thank him, Tsunade decided to let the boy stay in the village for the time being, as long as he stayed with Naruto. Naruto then decided to name him Menma, a name he came up with from the bamboo he found. As time went on, Menma showed himself to be very considerate and giving, as he began doing all kinds of chores around the village without even being asked. While cleaning the Hokage monument, an unknown man attacked Naruto. At first, Naruto was forced on the defense until Menma played another melody on his ocarina, which somehow gave Naruto a tremendous surge of chakra to overwhelm the man. This forced the man to retreat and Naruto to wonder who Menma really was. After telling Tsunade about the incident, Tsunade theorized Menma might be from the land of rice fields that was known for music-based techniques. After begging her, Naruto and Menma were allowed to go along with Neji and Tenten. They were sent along as Tsunade feared Menma might be affiliated with Orochimaru as one of his subordinates. Toyuya used a similar technique. On their journey, they came across a small village in ruins. The sight of the destruction seemed to horrify Menma. Soon after, Naruto and the others were attacked by the villagers. Despite their unexplained hostility, the villagers stopped attacking after learning they were from Konoha. Before the team left the village, one of the villagers approached them and begged for help. She explained that because of the gold mine at the foot of the village, it had been subjected to a terrible attack by rogue ninja from Otogakure, costing the village countless lives. Thanks to Menma's insistence, it was decided that they would stay and help. Naruto and Menma then began making a wall to aid in protecting the village from the next attack. Eventually, the rest of the village was inspired to help make the wall. While still working on it, the man who attacked Naruto and Menma earlier attacked again. In the scuffle, Menma was injured while saving the village leader. While treating his wound, it was shockingly discovered a tattoo on Menma that revealed that he was actually a member of Missing Nin. Despite the village's anger towards him, they were talked into helping Menma. Soon after, the rogue ninja attacked again, led by the man from earlier. After managing to fight back their enemies, Menma, who seemed to have regained his memories, revealed that he knew the gang leader Shin's backup plan, to blow a large dam to flood the entire village. Menma asked Naruto to bring him to the mines where he planted several explosive tags to counter Shin's plan. Along the way, Menma revealed he was indeed a member of that gang. He explained that he was taken in by them when he was young, but never realized how evil they were until they attacked the village. Menma explained that after being taken to Konoha, he pretended to have amnesia to live a peaceful life even for a short while, and to get help from Konoha in stopping his clan's horrible actions against the small village. While Naruto was initially furious at Menma for all his lies, he soon sympathized with him for his troubled past, and realized Menma's intentions behind his lies were pure. Menma then gave Naruto his ocarina as a parting gift before pushing him into a canyon river and setting off the explosive tags at the cost of his own life. While it succeeded in stopping Shin's plan, Naruto was furious at the loss of his friend and defeated Shin with his Rasengan. Later, back at the village, Naruto finally had the special ramen he was waiting for Ichiraku to prepare, and he had it in memory of Menma. Sunagakure support mission. Kakashi is shown investigating the Takami village. His ninja dogs found that the village was deserted and that the body of their founder was taken from its grave. Meanwhile, Sakura, Shikamaru, and Naruto discussed the status report from Temari saying that she and her brothers are going to become involved in their village's new shinobi training program. In Suna, the three siblings were shown leading a combat training class. One of the students, a shy, quiet girl named Matsuri, was reluctant to use something that could hurt someone else, so Gaara taught her how to use a defensive weapon, the Johyo. They became friends. After word reached Konoha that Gaara and his team needed help against a group of ninja called the Four Celestial Symbols Men from the Takami village who kidnapped Matsuri, Naruto joined the rest of the Konoha 11 minus Tenten under Shikamaru's command to help. Naruto was particularly glad he could finally pay Gaara back for helping them during Sasuke's defection. Quickly, Shikamaru formulated a strategy to best handle the situation and had Naruto pair up with Lee for the main offensive assistance. The two arrived in time to save Gaara from Suiko, an opponent with chakra-absorbing armor after being struck with a water-release water dragon bullet technique. After Gaara recovered with help from Sakura's medical ninjutsu, he took over for Naruto and Lee to finish off Suiko. Afterwards, Gaara went on ahead. He stopped just before going into the cannon and was shown to be worried about Matsuri. Naruto followed soon after. Naruto arrived in time to see Gaara facing off against the leader of the Four Celestial Symbols men, Hoki, now armed with all the unique weapons of his allies. Unfortunately, Gaara was too exhausted to properly fight back. Naruto quickly went to help Gaara. After Hoki shouted in anger towards the 5 great shinobi countries for overlooking his village's greatness as weapons makers and vowing to destroy them, he trapped Gaara in a giant iron sphere, which began absorbing the chakra of Shukaku, the one-tailed demon. Doing so slowly began to make Gaara transform into Shukaku. Hoki then used that chakra and himself as a sacrifice to perform a resurrection technique with the intent of reviving the Takumi village founder Seimei. Quickly after emerging, Seimei reconfigured the weapons of Hoki as armor for himself. Seimei then began siphoning off Shukaku's chakra, making Naruto repeatedly try to break Gaara free. Eventually, Gaara's transformation process proved too great for the prison to handle. While Seimei was looking forward to facing Shukaku, Gaara was able to suppress Shukaku and revert to normal, amazing Naruto and everyone else who appeared. While everyone else didn't understand why Gaara wouldn't take advantage of Shukaku's power, Kankuro explained that Gaara was determined to rely on his own power from now on. Gaara then used his remaining chakra to turn some of the canyon around them into sand and crushed Seimei, finally ending the battle and saving Matsuri. As everyone rushed to help Gaara, who fainted shortly afterwards, Kankuro noted to Naruto how he finally found someone who he could relate to. Later, while Naruto was recovering at the village, Jiraiya showed up. After explaining how he had spent the past few months gathering information about the Akatsuki, he told Naruto he was finally ready to train him for the next 2 years. Gaara, Temari, Kankuro, and Matsuri left for Sunagakure. After recovering and having one last bowl of ramen with Irika, Naruto finally set off with Jiraiya to begin his training, vowing to become strong enough to free Sasuke from Orochimaru when he returned. And that, my friends, is the complete Naruto recap. Now, keep in mind, this is just Naruto, not Naruto Shippuden or Boruto, so if you want those videos, well, you can check out one of them right now and maybe ask for the other. Isn't it crazy that we just summarized over 200 episodes? It's always kind of fun to go back and revisit the original series of Naruto because it seems that there aren't actually that many things that happened, even though there definitely are. The whole series, though, is just so expansive with so many crazy things happening, it's sometimes a little hard to keep track of. So, what did you think of the video? What's your favorite arc in the original Naruto series? Make sure you let me know down in the comments and subscribe for more like this. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.